I got a desk full of fucking beer bottles that I need to do something about. I'm just a drunk, dog. I'm just a fucking drunk. Some people are potheads, some people are drug abusers, some people are drunks, and some people are alcoholics.
Some people are all of it, all at once. All of it, all
Everything,
together, all at once.
everything together, always, everywhere at once. Or however that movie title is.
Where's Damo at? This
He
motherfucker
said
lagging.
he gonna be here right now.
All right, that's no problem. Are you already live?
Nope.
Oh shit, I went live. I'm usually like the last one, so I was like, I'm gonna just go ahead, hop in.
Yeah, I was gonna wait. I didn't know if there was like something you wanted to chat about or what. So I was like, I'll wait. I'll wait today.
Nah. I'm kind of, because we spoke briefly about it, but I'm going to kind of piggyback off the last two topics because I feel like one kind of relates to the other in a way, and then one I think because I listened to it back and there was a way that you had posed the topic, and I just feel that there's a fat chunk of it that is missing and is applicable to tonight, to what we spoke about.
Yo, how'd the show with Dredd go? I was gonna listen to it this morning, but I got caught up listening to a different podcast.
Bro, it blew by. It was like, I think we did like close to 2 hours, and bro, like, I mean, like talking to him's like talking to you for me, man. Like it's really never a dull moment, and it's always just catching up. He's pretty consistent with what he does. He's never getting into some random, like super random shit. So Dredd's either working or dancing and just living his life. But it was a good show. He did like the Buckhouse and shit, which is like the new Crump show that they're trying to come out with. He did that. So we got to speak about that. And then there's, I guess I do, like, I stay out of the Crumpers page as much as I can.
Yeah, I'm not on it anymore. I mean, they must have made a new one.
Yeah, there was a new one that got made. And then moderators went through, and anybody who made it through the page, but they weren't like I guess like if you weren't like actively posting, they could tell. And so then those people got deleted, or like they just went through a bunch of different shit.
I was definitely one of those people, bro. I got fucking deleted.
Dude, and I mean, I've been in and out of that page a few times because there's just been so much bullshit.
There's always drama.
Yeah, dude. And
Concrete got to fucking dance for Louis Vuitton.
I didn't see that.
Oh, no, bro. Yeah, that shit's sick. For the Virgil collection.
That's sick as fuck. But I wish that Crumpers would stop doing jobs like that. They need to stop. They need to stop doing like H&M jobs. They need to stop doing Gap. They need to stop doing Nike.
H&M for sure. I got beef with H&M, so
stop dancing for Nike. Stop this. Stop. Don't dance for fucking Adidas. Right? Don't dance for Volkswagen. Don't dance for fucking like Mercedes Benz. Like, if you guys really have a problem with social justice, like, look at these fucking people that you are dancing for.
Social justice goes out the window when it comes to the money, baby.
It always does. And people always ask, like, how do these, like, what happened to that case? What happened to this? What happened to that? And it's like, motherfucker, people took some money. That's what happened.
Some money. They needed the money. You know what I'm saying?
Hello. Zero in the fucking house.
All right, everybody's going live, so let me go live.
All right, making tea. What kind of tea?
It better be hot tea.
I know, I'm brewing some coffee.
How you doing, baby?
Too.
Coffee's wild. I still can't believe it, bro.
What? That I drink coffee so late?
Hold on. Yeah. Give me a second. What's goody? What's up, man?
But yeah, no, dude, like, I just wish they would stop. I get it. Like, it's a double-edged sword when you have like Crump being displayed in a certain light. You know what I mean? But at the same time, at what cost are we sacrificing the culture? You know what I mean? Like, bro, let's be real. Nike fucking employs prisoners to make their shoes that they turn around and sell for like $400.
And children.
Wait. What's happening? What?
We're just talking about the dance world.
Yeah, one of our buddies did a fucking video for Louis Vuitton, I guess.
Oh shit.
And which is huge, bro, huge. But like me, the inside of me is like, I wish
I've seen
it
the
would
insides
stop.
of you too.
Oh.
I want you to feel the insides of me.
Oh.
But to me, it's like, 1 second we're dancing and we're doing these protests, but then we're also then turning around and accepting money for our talents from these companies that don't really support us or
The same ones that you're fighting against.
yeah, historically we are actually opposed, like supposed to be opposed to. They're like the enemies in the shadow type of fucking people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even though they're not in the limelight, and they throw a couple sneaker deals at some basketball players, we think that they're okay. We think that they're allies, like, you know what I mean, or that they're with us. You know what I mean? They put BLM on the back of a fucking jersey, but then employ, like I'm saying, like they employ hundreds of thousands of fucking prisoners and pay them 2 cents for making a shoe that's worth, $300, $400, $600, $1,000 resale.
I mean, it's facts.
So I just wish they would stop. I wish they would stop. I just, either that, or there needs to be some kind of, maybe they can wear like a shirt, or they can wear some kind of article of clothing in this that displays what we stand for as a movement.
Well, they ain't gonna let that happen, bro.
Then stop employing us.
I mean, you know why they employ it, because it goes back to the culture. And if somebody, that's the reason why we buy shit, right? Because we see somebody that we know, or somebody that looks like us or does the things like us. I mean, it's perfect advertisement. That's how they make their money, bro. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, dude, before we get into a whole fucking tangent, I love you guys.
Hey, welcome back to the usual fucking Tuesday.
We're on
the usual Tuesday, not the usual fucking Tuesday. On Tuesday at 8:05. Even though we're supposed to start at 8:00, but that's my fault. It's Zero's fault. I got in here. Fucking Korpsx was still making coffee in the kitchen and shit.
Oh yeah, I gotta pour my coffee. Hold on.
I was gonna say, you said you were gonna be late, and I was late. But I was cooking up the thumbnail. That's why I was late.
Yeah, I saw it. Hold on, real quick. My dog's shit in my room. Hold
on. All right. I will continue the show. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the usual Tuesdays. Like Save just said. I just copied and pasted that shit. What else? What's my chat saying? Chamomile and cinnamon. That sounds beautiful. I hope that tastes really well. Really good. I'm not too big into tea, to be honest. I'm not too big into tea. I know Save is big into tea. Oh, Save is big into tea. He can't drink coffee, though. That's why he can't drink caffeinated things. So that's why he's into tea. I can't do tea. Tea tastes like shit to me all the time. So I got to go with Korpsx. W with the coffee right here. Look at him. Fucking white mug. W's. Motion said exactly? Okay. Exactly what? Wait, what are you saying? Hi.
Okay. Hi, Damo.
Oh my God. Hi. How you doing?
What's cooking? Good looking.
Struggling from success.
Wait, I heard my name. Save did what?
Your mic is fine, but it goes up and down. Yeah, so that's what I was saying.
Still? I fixed it yesterday.
It goes I don't know. That's what happened early on. I was trying to say that it would raise volume and then it would come down.
I fixed it yesterday, and I went through this whole process.
Right there, it did it right there. It did it right there. It literally happened right there.
I went through this whole process yesterday to fix it, and I got the settings perfect.
I don't know if it's maybe the stuff that we use to stream all this. I don't know. I have no idea, but it's happened every time. I use the hate tea, but
I mean, I thought I fixed it, bro. I moved every dial on here and fucking mad scientist the shit out of my fucking computer to make sure that it sounded good.
I think it might be because of the streaming.
And because it has to be
maybe. But I was gonna say because neither of ours do that. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's just mine. I don't know why it does it, bro. It's old.
Bro, I was gonna say I know you're gonna say none of this shit. I have an extra blue Yeti right here.
This is a Yeti.
I know.
But he's saying he has an
extra. But you're saying you just said it was old. I
mean, it's not. This is not that. It's really not that old. It's 2 years
okay. I don't know.
I don't know what's going on with it.
I'll give you one of my Technicas. I gotta get rid of them.
I have an extra mic somewhere, but I spent a lot of money. Look, I mean, I even bought the blue stand for this mic.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So you're going all blue.
I waited 3 months for this fucking stand.
It's a
They're
good
out of
stand.
stock.
That's that. I have that stand. It's right here.
How much did you pay for it?
It's a lot of money. What was
Yeah,
like
okay.
100 something. Yeah, it's fucking.
Yeah, okay. If you would have said like $50, I would have been pissed.
No, I think it was like 80 something. I was like, yeah.
80?
Yeah.
Nah, my shit cost me like 150 something.
Damn.
I was on my
Is it a Yeti?
back order. Yes, my
it
mic
might,
is a Yeti.
it might be auto adjusting audio. Cat says.
I changed it though so that it was circular.
No, I think he's saying that it's trying to auto adjust the levels.
But how do I change that? I don't have the Blue Yeti app on my computer. I don't think.
Is there like a setting on the back that like has auto adjusters? I haven't used that thing.
No.
That's what I'm saying. If you want, because I haven't used it. I like used it 3 times.
Because I do notice even when I listen back, like when you have a change in your voice inflection, that's when it generally happens. So I think there has to be some kind of adjusting. Maybe it might be a computer setting. I don't know, but I think that does sound kind of nail on the head.
Maybe
but it's all right.
Updated. Wait, maybe update outdated mic drivers. Oh, maybe that's like in the weeds though. I feel like.
Yeah, I don't think I have. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, it'll be fixed by next podcast. I promise. I apologize.
I swear to God, it's fine, dude. When I listen, it's fine.
It's not that bad. I have heard. I don't know. Well, Whoa, he's gone. Okay. Where did he go? Where did he go?
He said, "Fuck y'all." Oh, there he is. Hold on. I'm gonna bring him back.
Oh, that's weird. Maybe he accidentally exited out.
No, it was because I fucking opened up Logitech.
Oh, that screwed your fucking mic all the way up.
Did it?
Yeah. Now you're not getting audio from your mic. I think it's from your headphones. I don't really. Oh, it doesn't really matter. Just wanted to let you know. Okay.
Yeah, you sound good, dude. I'm just saying, like,
yeah, just sometimes it spikes. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Yeah, should be fine. No, we can't hear you at all. No audio.
No
audio.
How about now?
Yeah, there you go.
Wait, say something.
Something. Does it sound normal? Hello.
Yeah, you sound better.
Yeah.
Hold on, I lost the shit to my stream too.
Wait, actually, you might actually sound better here.
Do I sound better?
Yeah.
Okay. I think now it's back to normal. I think it was
compressing. I lost the mic on my fucking stream though. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Hello, it's me.
You're looking for.
Bro, I seen a video, bro, on Instagram where they like chopped up the video of Adele, and it was like a dude answering the phone, and she goes, "Hello, what's up? It's me. What you want?" I was wondering, and he like clicks on her. I was like, "Yo, this is guts." This was funny as hell.
I'll never stop loving you, bitch.
Okay, Mike's better now. Okay. All right, let's start this over. We back.
Usual Tuesday podcast with your boys. Save 0% and Big Korpsx, the one and only.
We got to get like a theme song.
I have somebody working on that.
Wait, for real? A fucking theme song?
Well, if you listen to some of the old podcasts, there's like an intro. There's like an actual intro that my homie like mixed and made. And he was telling me, he was like, "Oh man," he's like, he's like, "When's the last time I made something for the podcast?" I was like, "Bro, it's been like 2 years." He's like, "I need to make you something new." I was like, "Well, hold on." I was like, "Give me a second." I was like, "Because there's going to be some ideas I want to throw at you." And bro, he's bad. Shout out Marcus Chavez from fucking Killa Korpsx, the one and only, my dog.
I know Marcus.
Yeah, that's my dog, bro. And
you ever see those badass pictures of me on my Instagram wearing the merch? That's who took him, dog.
My guy.
Marcus.
Yeah. So he wants.
The man made me look like a superstar, bro. He made me feel like a superstar too.
My guy, bro. I've done so much work with that dude, bro. Love that kid.
You ever need pictures taken? That's the guy right
there. And anybody who needs a DJ for any club, birthday party, any event, somebody who's going to come and bump some fucking banger tunes, who's going to have the crowd fucking moving and grooving. And I'm telling you, hitting the ones and twos, you got to hit him up. His Instagram is xkilla, Marcus Chavez. I will post this shit in the descriptions because this man is fucking amazing. He's amazing. He's an amazing talent, and he deserves the recognition. My guy,
I've hit a couple 1s and 2s in my life.
bro. I'm telling you, he made me a track, bro. He's
Ooh.
coming out with a whole Corpse Fam album.
Ooh.
Boy, and when I'm saying Will's in here labbing, I was like, you know, oh, Marcus, let's go, dog. Like, we've been to get dirty.
So, hey, Zero, you don't work tomorrow, right?
No.
Oh, we going late night tonight, baby.
Yeah. You guys want?
I'm going all the way in. We going until you show us your dick.
My guy.
Oh, Lord.
I've been waiting.
We're only going 5 more minutes then, okay?
So I was briefly telling Save, but so tonight's topic, I was wanting to kind of piggyback off of the last 2 ones that we had did.
Trans issues.
Well,
No,
it
no,
turned,
sorry,
it turned into that. It turned into that. But
Trans
it's-
issues canceled.
so like I was telling Save, like there was a big chunk of the question that was initially asked that I think that we breezed past just because we kind of got into one tangent and then it turned into 50 like we always do. But
My fault. I apologize.
bro, this is how the conversations go. That's the whole point. So we can do another one. So a part of the question that was on the table was what effect is like one parent to single parent, the single parent, 2-parent homes, like how is it affecting society? And that's where I wanted to start. Was when I first heard that to me, right? Like I feel that one of the effects that it had was that children were seeking the parent dynamic in relationship through other people, right? And that was also talking about like how we were talking about friends, right? And friendships. And sometimes you got to understand what roles certain friendships play in your life, right? I have friends who I do look at as if they are a father figure. You know what I mean? And these are friends. I mean, I'm talking about they're like 40, 50 fucking years old. Like, you know what I mean? And I've known them damn near my whole fucking life, but they're not related to me. But I can go there, they'll feed me, and I'm going to respect them as if they're my own dad. I might even ask them questions that I've asked my own dad about manhood and parenting and blah, blah, blah. And so another place, though, a solid place, and this is the reason why I wanted to ask this, was schools, right? Kids will seek the guidance from counselors or teachers. So my question is what role, right? What role does a teacher play as far as teaching our kids, right? Teaching, and I know for me to pose it that way. So let me maybe preface it a little different. Is what position does a teacher hold teaching children about life, right? Not I don't want to say our kids, but children. So everybody, let's say from 6th grade to seniors in high school. Like, what do you think? Like the first time I heard this question was, is it a teacher's job to teach morals and values to their students? To me, I feel like that's crossing the line.
Oh, wow.
Right. To me, I
Really?
feel like we'll explain later. We'll explain.
Okay.
We'll explain.
Depends, but yeah. Okay.
I mean, I think it depends too, right? Because, and my bad, I don't know if you were finished or not, but
No, go ahead, because that's a good starting point. That's why I was like,
know,
we'll explain.
so I don't know where I stand on this one. Like, this is a weird one for me because I feel like there's a line that needs to be drawn too, right? But I remember like being a kid in 6th and 7th grade, and there was like 2 teachers that, like, if I didn't want to go out and play at lunch, like, I could sit in their class and chill and vibe.
Mhm.
One of them would play music. The other one like started playing Magic the Gathering with us, and like we created a bond, I guess you could say. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that's really like. I don't know if any life lessons came from those conversations. None that I can like pinpoint on the head and be like, oh shit, I remember chatting about this and chatting about that. But it's like, yeah, at what point do you feel okay with that as a parent? Like, I don't think I ever like sat and told my parents like, oh yeah, I used to play Magic the Gathering in so-and-so's class. or like ran home and told my dad like, oh yeah, I like chilled with this teacher in his classroom and we listened to music, like because that would be a little. mm, I don't know how I would feel if like my own came and told me that. You know what I mean? Like I guess it's a broad line, but I guess that's where a role model comes from, but without the teaching moral point that you're bringing up.
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe at some point those teachers feel like it's not their role to do that, but it's their role to create a safe space.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like a classroom is supposed to be a safe space because that's why they always tell you there's no dumb questions, right? People learn at their own pace. You're supposed to be able to learn the way that the like you have 20 fucking 30 students in a classroom. Everybody's going to learn at a different pace and everybody's going to learn differently. So, you know, you have to kind of mold yourself as a teacher to be able to teach all those different learning styles and then move on to the next class where you have to learn 30 more learning styles. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I don't know. I can't answer that question. I don't know how I feel about teachers giving life lessons because I mean there's a positive in it, right? But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, I mean it's a double-edged sword. Like there could be a lot of evil upon it too. Like it's somebody pushing their own ideologies onto something where they're supposed to learn that in the household.
Exact, and that's kind of one of the things that we kind of smashed into last
Mm-hmm.
last time. And so,
Mm-hmm.
what about you? What about you, Demo? Do you think that teachers should be left to teach morals and values to the kids in schools?
I'm leaning towards yeah. I'm leaning towards yes because I think in regular society you're gonna have to deal with a lot of different people and a lot of different things, and people are not going to do things that you like, and others are going to do things that you like, and teachers are people like anybody. And I think people are. I think if I think there's obviously a line, like obviously teachers shouldn't be forceful with their ideologies, like Save was saying. I don't think people should be forceful with any of their ideologies in like real life either. They should like kind of speak their beliefs and kind of give really good examples and really good reasonings why they believe or follow a certain thing, but then leave everybody to their own kind of conclusions on whether or not they're going to follow that thing that they are preaching. But I think teachers should probably follow the same kind of rule set of like, these are kids, they're pretty impressionable, they're going to do or at least think about what I'm going to say. They're probably going to tell their parents and kind of live their lives however they see fit. I don't think kids are super, super malleable to the point where they're going to do anything you tell them to. Kids, I mean, from what I've seen, typically have a tendency to like either follow or like completely do the opposite of whatever somebody says, and they have their own little like likes and dislikes. So I think eventually it'll sort themselves out, and whether it's a phase or not, if like they go into like a hard like if they like what a teacher is saying like super super hard, they'll probably love it for a while, and then other things will come in and they'll think about things differently, and eventually it'll kind of just fade out if they like think about it themselves.
But what if the teacher is like teaching or giving ideas that are completely opposite of those that are in the household? And like isn't that wouldn't you believe that to be counterproductive?
Yeah. See,
Like should it
I had a
no, go ahead, go ahead.
class with a girl. I had a class with a girl, and I remember the teacher, like, and he was kind of known for his like standpoints on some things. And they kind of got into a debate, and I mean, he said kind of a hard fact. I was like, ooh, like, oh, that stings, like, and she ended up walking out the class. And I remember, like, he was like a substitute teacher, I never saw him after that. Like, he was gone.
Substitute teachers are the fucking ballsiest people in the fucking world sometimes.
Bro, they're fucking lit, dude. I fucking
I
love
got some
subs.
substitute teacher stories, bro. It was shit. Bro, people used to
Bro.
be mean to this one lady. I don't not know how she kept coming back to the school.
Dude, let me tell you one of the stories. This is the reason I say this. Is there's this dude. I don't want to say his name because I don't know if he, whatever. We'll call him Damien. Let's say it was about me. I would say I was a bit chunkier back in high school, right?
Oh, now he's talking shit. Now he's low key throwing shit.
No. The reason I'm even saying this is because it matters to the story. So, Damien, right? I'm kind of making a fucking fuss and whatever, because we're kids and whatever. And it's a substitute teacher, so obviously we're a little bit more ballsy than like a real teacher. or like our regular teacher. And then so this older lady who's a substitute teacher, she's like fed up, she's fucking mad. So she gets in my face and she's like, da da da, like go to the principal's office. And I'm like, no, like fuck that, like you're nobody basically. And then the teacher's like, you fat fucking pig, right to my face. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Oh my god. And
Oh my God.
a little bigger Damien was kind of trying to throw hands with her, and she was an older lady. I think she got fired after that though.
Oh my God.
That was so fucking funny.
Hey man, don't bite the hand that feeds you, right?
That was crazy.
I like, so if you were to ask my opinion on this topic, it's kind of weird.
Wait, hold on, time out. Hey, Corpse, what's your opinion on this topic?
If you were to ask, only if you ask, I'd tell you. It's weird, right? Because I have a niece who works in the school system. Some of my sisters have worked in the school systems. And, and I was a coach. And the coach in me would, I remember the kids one time walked out of CI because of a gun protest. They were protesting guns and all that. And I remember when they got to school, not when they got to school, when they got to practice, I sat them all down. I was like, hey, like, I'm proud of you guys for exercising your American right. You guys have the right as Americans to protest whatever the fuck you feel is necessary. You didn't break nothing. You guys just walked out. Just walked out.
But it was violent.
Perfect. It's like, does your parents know? Like, that was my next question. Oh no, we didn't tell them. And it's like, well, we should probably not be doing this then, right? Like, if you wouldn't do this in your household, why are you doing this at school? You know what I mean? Like, and I remember like my parents would be, they would be on me and they would ask me, do you do this at school? Do you do this with your teacher? And I was like, no. Like, fuck no, I knew better than to act up at school. Like, when I was little, I knew better than to act up at school, bro. I'm fucking, my parents would be on me. You know what I mean? So, but that wasn't because I had an innate fear to teachers. I had an innate fear for my parents. You know what I'm saying? So it was like,
ooh, go ahead, continue. That's an interesting point that you just brought up,
bro. And it's like, why I should go to my teachers showing them the respect I show my parents.
Yeah, right? but you just said the biggest difference right there is that you show your parents respect out of fear.
Bro, it's not just the fear, but it's, I don't want to come here and show my ass because I'm going to go home and get in trouble. You get what I'm saying? Like, especially when you're young, you're not too worried about making your parents proud and, fucking.
You just don't want to get your ass kicked in.
I just don't want to get. I don't want my Game Boy taken away. I want to be able to go play with my buddies, and I don't want to go to sleep early. No, like no, I don't want to go to bed early. What are you fucking talking about?
I don't want to go to bed.
You feel me? Like, that's the most.
I'm just 17 years old, bro. Like, not getting ice cream before bed,
bro. At 17. At 17, the worst things you could have done to me was like take my cell phone and take the car keys, bro. Like 17, I was finally awarded these things. I could have them. They're yours. Like they're yours now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Those were the worst things you could have done to me. And I mean, 16, 17 is kind of when I started fucking off in school. But before that, it was like, don't take wrestling from me. Don't take basketball from me. Don't take those things from me. Like, so I did good in school so that I can ensure that I had those things. But there was never a moment where it was like, oh, I just like this teacher so much that, you know what I mean? I'm going to listen to everything that they're saying. And I just never had that relationship with teachers. You know what I mean? Never. I mean, I had good teachers. There was people who made impacts in my life for sure.
Well, okay. I think we need to define this, right? Like, what is a teacher's actual job then?
So I think there's two lines to it, right?
Wait, time out. And the only reason I ask that is because we've seen plenty of movies, right, where teachers change people's lives. Like, and there's always like that one NFL player that's like, oh, this person changed my fucking life, or like the Freedom Writers. That was a teacher's idea that did that. So if a teacher doesn't stand up and do something along those lines, then the teachers are literally molding the face of this earth. You know what I mean?
Yes. And a perfect movie that I think people can look at is Dead Poets Society with Robin Williams.
Mm-hmm.
and it was like a philosophy class, right? And he was teaching these kids about poetry and the liberal arts and impacting these kids in a real fucking way. Like this movie, I still have a notebook, bro, here in my house, in that fucking closet over here. I have a notebook, bro, with notes that I took from this movie, bro. Like it was so impactful. But one of the most impactful parts to me was that there was a kid who ended up killing himself from this
Jesus.
group of students. And it was because all this free thinking that this guy, that Robin Williams, the character of Robin Williams, was offering him, this free thinking, and here he has his teacher telling him to express himself and be who you are, and you know, we're food for worms, guys, so live in a extraordinary life, you know. And then to have a dad at home who wasn't, you know, who wasn't confirming these ideas and these beliefs within himself, the character ends up killing himself. And so to me, I think that there's a very delicate line that as teachers you have to tiptoe. You have to know to tiptoe these things. Like as a coach, I could sit here and tell these kids, like, man, follow your dreams. Follow your dreams. Like, you think you belong on big stages? Practice. Practice every fucking day. Put aside all that bullshit. Practice. But parents at home might have a different idea for what they want for their children. Right? So another thing I also lead them to say is if your parents want you to go to school to be a doctor, but you want to be a dancer, then there's a couple things you need to do. You need to move the fuck out. You need to stop taking their money. You need to cut all fucking Starbucks cards, cell phones, car payment, anything that they're taking care of for you. You need to disconnect it now. Be your own independent person. If they're going to, you know, if they're going to if they're going to supply your lifestyle, then you kind of got to go with the flow for a little bit.
Yeah, but you're not supplying their lifestyle, so why should they take advice from you?
That's true.
No, isn't he just? Aren't you just saying like?
Yeah, but I feel like that's okay. Look, I've always thought about this, like about telling people like live your fucking dreams, do whatever the fuck you want to do. You know, like quit your job. Oh, excuse me, quit your fucking job and go live the life that you want to live. But like for some people, that's fucking setting them up for failure, bro.
Mm-hmm. That's also why I say
somebody's life up. You know,
that's also why I'm saying too. That's also why I'm saying too. This is what this is what you want. This is what I'm going to encourage. But at the end of the day, if your parents are going to be doing X, Y, and Z for you, then I think you need to go over there.
Yeah, but what if their parents aren't doing anything?
Well, they're still doing
anything out of the ordinary.
Well, they're still doing more for those kids than I am. You know what I mean? Like they raised you, they fucking supplied you your whole fucking life. You live under their roof. They're your parents. First off.
So to answer your question, then, if it's gonna be based off of go live your fucking dreams, go do this. If that's what the teacher's doing, I don't want them doing that shit.
Mm-hmm. See, it's a delicate line you got to tiptoe.
Because I don't think there's even a line, bro. It's like a fucking squiggly, wild fucking because every parent is different, right? I genuinely don't want somebody to tell my kid to like, you know, like if you want to be a fucking, you know, a dancer per se, right? Like, don't worry about your studies, just be a dancer. You know, like, that shit, bro.
But I don't know if that's what he means, right? He's just
low key. Like, it is. He's just saying like, go chase your dreams and do what you want to do. Like, and what if I'm 16 years old and I'm like, well, I don't want to go to school anymore. And I know that there's dancers on America's Best Dance Crew that are 15, 16, 17 years old. Why can't I go do that and make a bunch of fucking money?
And in situations like that, like
that's like the kids you should not be doing that shit ever.
Yeah,
well, that's our kids got punished. Where's the motivation?
Our kids got punished for having bad grades. You know what I mean? You couldn't dance.
I would imagine the advice would be like, live your dreams, right? But you know, there's a lot of things that you need to do. Work fucking incredibly hard. You have to be incredibly fucking lucky sometimes. Sometimes it's XYZ. You know, academia is a good way to go. Maybe like think of other avenues. Maybe have this shit as your hobby, but like don't give it up. I think is like the better advice, I guess.
That's like wishy-washy advice. You know what I mean?
No, that's just like
hey,
like,
you can do whatever you put your mind to. But hey, maybe you got to be a little bit lucky to do that. So maybe you should do your studies, but don't give up on what you want to do because you can actually do it. But maybe you should do this. You like that's exactly what you just said.
Well, somebody has to fill this kid's head with fairy tales. Somebody has to do it. Somebody, and that I think is a part of the discussion. I think that kind of needs to be addressed as us as parents is that we're trying to have kids live too realistically. You know what I mean? We're trying to have them live too realistically. And a lot of times parents are encouraging their kids to take professions because it's realistic.
Well,
Right?
what do you mean by realistic?
Be a police officer, go be a nurse, go be a doctor, go be a lawyer, go be an electrician, go be a plumber, go be this.
I mean,
go
damn
be
if I tell Peanut any of that shit. Peanut's gonna be a fucking marine biologist, bro.
Bro, marine biologist, go do something that is going to guarantee them money, right? Because we talked about this briefly too. Us as parents, one of our biggest concerns is our kids is their sustainability once we pass. So a lot of times that fear comes out of us and we try to paint a realistic life for our children because we chased our own dreams, right? Our parents' parents chased their own dreams and maybe they failed.
And look look where we made it, right? Like,
yeah, and maybe because they failed or they think they failed, that life that they lived, our children may aspire to want. Like that's all they could ever want. You know what I mean?
And I'm not telling you don't tell your kids that they can do whatever they want. Because I tell Peanut he can do whatever he wants all the fucking time. Like he can't be a fucking little menace, but you know, you can live freely, do whatever you want. I just don't think it's somebody else's job to tell my kid that.
So the problem lies
the difference.
See, yeah, and that's where the problem lies.
The difference? Like if it's the same advice, it's just following through from one place to another. No?
Yeah, but my main focus and my target is my son, right? A teacher's main focus and target is everybody's kids. So the advice is less sound.
But if the advice is like, if I was like, you know, don't eat, I don't know, don't eat batteries; they're bad for you. And then
that's not advice, though. That's not advice. Like
pretty sound advice. That's pretty sound advice.
I mean, that's pretty.
Yeah, I
don't eat batteries. You know, yeah, like I'm not gonna be like, Damien, why the fuck you telling my kid not to eat batteries? If he wants to eat batteries, like
that's what I'm saying. Why do you have a? Why is it
okay?
Bad? Why is it
we're
bad
not we're talking because it was prefaced as
same.
morals
and
values. Where I believe telling somebody that they can go do something and fuck everybody else, get off your parents' salary and get out of their house and do that, like. You don't need to be telling my kid that. But like, that's not your place.
But that's what Pudge believes, right? That's what you believe, not necessarily what the teacher would be saying.
But he was saying that from a teacher's standpoint.
From a teacher's standpoint, yeah.
He was saying him telling his students, his coach. Yeah. So, and I believe that there's no place for that. I don't believe that teachers should do that.
So, and it comes and a lot of it comes in a situation by situation basis. Right. Like, so that situation where I may tell a kid that where it's like, but I just want to dance, coach. Like they want me to do this. They want me to do that. I don't want to do it. Like, I just want to dance. It's like, then fucking dance.
Dude, but then at that point, I think, that's why I think like parent teacher conferences are so important. Because, and like with my coach, with my original coach from my team that I was on, she was very close with all the parents. So if there was ever anything going on in class, it got relayed to the parents by the teacher. Just like I feel like parent-teacher conferences are very important. And now if something happens at school, I get a message on my phone from one of the teachers at my son's school, like, "Hey, this is going on." I feel like that's great. Tell me what the fuck is going on at school. Parent-teacher conferences. Now you have the parent and teacher.
Do you think the child's relationships should be communicated during those parent-teacher conferences?
Relationships with what?
Everybody.
No.
Other students?
No.
The teachers themselves?
With teachers, yes. With students, no.
So let's say a relationship with themselves. So let's say this kid went to their teacher and said, "Hey, I'm feeling a certain way about the way that I feel in my body." Do you think that the teacher should
to a teacher or to like?
So if the child went to the teacher and said, "Hey, I don't feel right. There's something going on with how I feel in my body."
The parents.
Oh, I agree too. Actually, yeah.
Okay.
That should be related to the parents.
So if
just to keep the teacher safe, you know, because if this kid goes up to his parents like, "Well, I told Mr. So and so this," and
they didn't say anything,
and they didn't say anything to me, oh, I'm raising hell, bro.
So if my son was picking on somebody, I would expect that teacher to be like, hey, you know what? Elijah seems to have some taking for this other person and he seems to be bullying them. I would like that to be communicated to me.
Absolutely.
If they found my son, and I'm gonna say this very specifically, if they found my son with public displays of affection with a someone, I would like that to be communicated to me. You know, generally kids get suspended for that shit. You know what I mean? Or they get some
Yeah.
kind of like write up. You know what I mean? Where-
What? Where, bro? Where I listen. Where
Yeah, but
I
you're talking about
went-
high school. You're talking about high school.
I'm talking about high school.
Our
We were
kids are about to
fucking
be in
the
kindergarten.
bathroom, dog.
Oh, even in high school, bro.
That's
we-
just
We were
crazy.
fucking in the bathroom.
Yes, dead ass. There was a story. It was crazy. Anyway,
Was that a good place to fuck? There was
Like,
other places to
well,
fuck. in my school.
there was like only like 2 stories like that ever, and I was like,
There
dog.
was
what
other
the
places
fuck?
to fuck, like abandoned
You
classrooms.
just
Middle
wait. You just wait to go
school?
home. Just go home. What the fuck?
Middle school, I got suspended for like 3 days for holding a girl's hand. I got like
What?
Crazy. Holy
Yeah, I got in school
shit.
suspension, bro. 3
Wait,
days.
did you go to like a Catholic school or something, or why?
No, bro. We just had a very strict school, bro. Like we had to have
No.
see-through or mesh backpacks, and all boys had to tuck in their shirts at all times. They had.
Oh,
to do
okay. So
Whoa,
I went.
that's crazy.
My middle school. My middle school is 6th through 8th grade. It was supposed to be 6th through 12th, but I got kicked out. But my 6th through 8th grade school, I wore a uniform. And if it was up to me, kids would wear uniforms to school.
They would all wear uniforms.
Uniforms are fucking sick. Oh my god,
Mhm.
you don't have to worry about what you're gonna wear. Everything's the same. It looks nice.
Well,
No,
there's
but
more unison.
there's less bullying,
Mhm.
and everybody's in unison. Some people can find the negatives in that, right? Which I can see the negatives in that too. It's like fucking Hitler type shit. You know, everybody has to wear the same thing over and over.
I think
But
it's cool to also just have like a Friday like free dress, whatever. Like it's cool. It's like
I'm
a
gonna say
day.
it. I'm gonna say what everyone's thinking. There wasn't so much bad with Germany at that time.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
There
Stop
was-
it.
what did Hitler really do wrong? Let's
Oh
be
my
real.
fucking-
I'm just saying. All I'm gonna say is that during Germany at that time, the people were coming together, right? Like not everybody believed in the Hitler movement. That's
Okay,
not
we'll
what I'm
get
saying.
the fuck away from fucking
Yeah,
Germany.
yeah.
Right.
Let's go back
Stop.
to uniforms in
let's go
school.
back to the
I
regular-
think
Right.
I think that uniforms in school should be a thing.
Look at
For every
look at
school.
all the major countries, bro, especially in Europe. Look at all
China, where they have the fucking highest like grades for school.
Academia
and-
scores, bro.
I don't know if China's a good example.
Why-
They're like
why is-
communists and stuff.
but we're talking about their school system.
See, boom, Pembroke Middle was wild, bro. My man Jordan. I got ISS for holding hands one day. I did too. My man
That's
Kendra
crazy, bro.
Locklear. Love you, girl.
Bro, that's crazy. I feel like in elementary school I had like a little crush thing.
Wait, you were holding hands with a Locklear?
Her name was Kendra Locklear.
Not related to Jordan though?
No. Locklear, bro. Locklear, Hunt, Dial, Jacobs, Lowry is like Gomez,
Get on your
Gonzalez,
ass, bro.
Chavez,
We
fucking.
do fuck around with Jordan's people. No, but seriously though, I think that school uniform, like I wanted my son to. I was trying to get my son into a private kindergarten
We got Elijah in a private school.
because everything in unison, uniforms. There's less bullying, less things to bully about, right? Like that's huge for me,
Mm-hmm.
and because you focus more on your studies.
Mm-hmm.
And as a kid that didn't graduate from fucking high school, my kid's gonna fucking graduate, bro. Like
So
that
let
kid.
I actually don't think you focus more on your studies because of clothes. And I could say because I went to both.
I would have to say you do. Let me tell you this. I would say 80% of the kids that I went to started in 6th grade with at my uniformed school that went from 6 to 12. I would say about 80% of the kids graduated and went to a university. Whereas I could probably count on 1.5 hands how many people went to university from my actual high school.
I would attribute a lot of that though to the access to certain resources.
Yeah, I wasn't. I don't know. I wouldn't attribute very much.
Well, I mean, okay. Well, what do you mean? For what resources? All the kids that let me put it to you like this: all the kids that I went to high school or that I went to middle school with, that were at my middle high, were all put in that school because they were minorities and underprivileged kids.
Well, I wouldn't even say that. Like, if I
No,
was,
that was the reason. Like you had to apply to go to that school, and that was one of the categories. You had
and
to
it was
be
6 through
underprivileged.
12, and it was a 6
6
through 12. Okay,
Correct.
so if you're asking me, like, if I was like a college recruit, right? Like, if I was recruiting for dancing, like that would be the last place I would go, right? Because there's a lack of self-expression there, right? Because they're not letting the kids wear, different clothing and all this shit.
I mean, you could
But
wear whatever sneakers you wanted, but you had to
yeah,
wear the
that's
same.
one thing.
Yeah.
But if I was going there, like maybe as a football coach, I might start there. That might be a place I start if you're asking me, because if this kid can go 6 through 12 wearing the same fucking clothes every day,
Yeah,
right,
uniform never changed. The logo changed, but that was it.
there's
I
a
don't know.
certain level of discipline there. There's
feel
a
like there's a-
certain level of discipline there where it's like,
No.
bro, like,
No.
You
There's
really
no
okay?
discipline.
Hold on. So you really don't think that clothes make a difference at all, Damien?
Not that they don't make a difference, they don't make a big difference. It
How-
isn't a big difference. I just don't think so. I don't think that. There's no
In anything?
discipline in it because
In
that is
anything?
just- in what? What do you mean?
In anything, clothes don't make a difference.
I'm
in
just saying
anything?
I don't think they make a big difference. It's not as impactful as as it feels like we're speaking on it on.
I have to
Like the
disagree,
thing
man.
is like there's no
That's your first form of presentation to somebody.
huh?
That's your first form of presentation to somebody. That is what they make their initial impression
But
on.
if everybody looks the same, there's no like effort that you're putting into it. You're not getting a good impression because I look good because everybody looks the same. I have to look like this.
I would beg to differ. Because if you
Why?
have the
There's no
same
other
pants on,
choice.
if you have the same pants on for 4 days and a wrinkled ass shirt, but there's another dude who has the creases in his pants and a brand new iron shirt, there's no difference.
The appearance is the same as far as like
It's not
what
though.
we're wearing is the exact same. Whether I brush my hair and like
but the
brush my-
appearance
that's a
is different.
Thing. That's a different thing though.
But that's what I'm saying. Like it goes down to even just that, bro. Like I'm trying to.
well, hold on, because let's not get too lost in the clothing, right? Now, this is a bigger thing that I want to know, because I think schools are starting to move away from it. But do you think that the Pledge of Allegiance should be a daily requirement for all students, K through 12?
Yes.
Should it be a Yeah. I mean, it's a
It's a rec.
I think you should have respect for your country and the people who.
A requirement. Okay, so this is what. Let me define what I mean. It should be required for it to be done in school. It should not be required for the kids that do not want to do it.
Why?
Because some people just don't feel like God and the country should go hand in hand with each other.
Why?
Well, I don't know the answer to that. What the fuck? I don't feel that way. I'm just saying. I'm just saying things that I've heard. Yeah. Me personally, I believe that every student should say the Pledge of Allegiance.
You should say the Pledge of Allegiance, and you should say God bless America. You should say all that, right? Because
should there be like?
Well, I mean, I can't agree with that because I'm not religious.
I was gonna say,
I'm
should
not
there
either.
be separate versions of the Pledge of Allegiance that any like form of religion or non-religion?
No, because there's only one Pledge of Allegiance.
now
Why
I will say this. Is that if you're taking an office, right? Because they've done this before, and I believe in this highly. If you're taking office and you're Muslim and you want to be sworn in on the Quran, I believe 100% you should be able to do that, right?
If you want to be sworn by what?
If you want to be sworn in on the Quran, which is their holy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You should
That's
absolutely.
Quran, but that's why you fucked me up for a second.
Oh, Quran, my bad.
That's why I was like, what the fuck? Iran.
And I don't think that there should be separate readings, because if I went to Israel and everybody busted out their prayer mats and started praying, I wouldn't say, oh, well, I'm going to wait an hour because I don't pray at 3. I pray at 4:30. Right? I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go to a place during Ramadan and be cussing, right? Because they don't use crass language during Ramadan. I wouldn't be out here using crass language because I'm an American. That's what we do over here. Right? So I take that. In America, we have the freedom to practice our religion when we want, say what we want when we want, right? We have all these other freedoms. So the one thing I think everybody should be tied down to is we're going to stand up, we're going to say this Pledge of Allegiance, we're going to get it done, and that's it. should kids be punished for not saying the Pledge of Allegiance? I don't know. That's kind of weird. I think that's weird. I think that's like super indoctrinating. But I think there should be like, you should rise. You should stand up. Just stand the fuck up. Like, you know what I mean? Just stand up. At least give that much respect to the country that you're living in, that you're being educated in. You know what I mean? Because if I was in Mexico, or if I was in Argentina, or if I was in Germany, or in China, right? Whatever their fucking practice is, I would adhere to it. Might not believe in it, right? Like, might not believe in this shit. For a long time, I didn't believe in God, but I still said the Pledge of Allegiance. You know what I mean? And still said, you know, dude, I don't even remember the Pledge of Allegiance anymore.
Well, you don't have to believe. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
For which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all. Yeah.
But I don't think you have to believe in God to say the God part of the Pledge of Allegiance, because the way that it's written is it's because it's our God-given right. Like our rights here in this country are our God-given rights. Like that's how it's written and shown to us, right? So that's why they say one nation under God, because we have been given our God-given rights and freedoms to do whatever we want. That's why we have God like involved in those writings.
Real quick, apparently I have somebody in my chat saying that it was changed in the 1950s to include God due to wanting like to distance themselves between the communist Russia at the time.
Yeah, communist Russia does not believe in any God.
He said, so why can't it be changed again to include the name of God and Pledge of Allegiance? Like, why can't it be changed again? I think there could be. I personally think that there should be able to be different readings of it based on what you believe in. Because then, one, I think America's in a unique position where not a lot of places hold, where we have like a big population of so many different people, and I think it should be adaptable to something like that.
That's why I think it would be ridiculous to adapt it to everybody. And here's why. Because if you have 30 students in a class that all believe different things, I'd have to wait and sit there and hear 30 different renditions of the Pledge of Allegiance.
No, you can all say it at the same time. It would just be different.
Why? It's different. Now there's no
why would I have to wait for everybody?
You're the one who wants to change. You're the one who says it's okay for it to be changed.
No, but I'm not advocating for everybody to go one at a time. Just everybody just do.
But the whole reason for everybody to do it, literally, that's why ballparks, everybody stands up. Schools, when it's time for the Pledge of Allegiance, everybody in the whole school stands up in each one of their classrooms. The whole point of it is to be in unison.
Yeah, but imagine a world where not only are we unified in the fact that we enjoy and appreciate our country and we support, the people who support it, but I get to express it in the way that I choose to, with the words that I choose to say that I feel closest to.
Sure, but then you're no longer in unison, is what I'm saying.
The unification is the appreciation of the country, not the words that we say.
I can understand that. But I still see, I just think that I lean more towards the idea of what is the value of the word besides, like, what's the value of the word versus the value of what we're actually doing together, right? Which is what I'm hearing from you both, right? And to me, I put more value in what we're doing together, right? Like the word doesn't matter, because even within the Christian religion, right, you have sects of Christianity who won't address God as God. They'll address God as, Yahweh, and they don't address Jesus as Jesus. They address him as Jehovah. You know what I mean? What do I mean? What do I got to do? Say Allah? Like, you know what I mean? That even stands for arm, leg, arm, head. It's just an acronym. So why are we going to get so tied up in these words, right? All I know is that this
word,
true
statement,
Allah, stands for arm, leg, arm, head. Give it a fucking Google, whoever's in here.
I didn't know that.
I'm not gonna go that deep. I might look at it when I go lay down, but
yeah, no,
I didn't know that.
Dead fucking ass. That's why Muslims say God body. That's why they say, oh, this is God body, right? Melanin is the sun calcified inside of their own body, right? Like it's God body. Like
you said that with depth, baby.
Oh, baby, I love this shit, bro. Like I'm not a religious man, but I am religious. You get me? Like I like to dibble dabble in different shit. Hold on. We got something in the chat. Hold on. My man Jordan's coming in hot. How could you handle the confusion or bullying of any students that had a different reading of the pledge? Seems like a lot of potential trouble.
I agree with that.
See,
Again, it has to be unison, in my opinion.
And to me, I think that all these religions, right? They're all practicing the same thing in the sense of they want you to be better, to rise to something, right? So whether it was in the 1950s or 1850s, if they put God there, that's what we should read. And especially during that time, yeah, Russia, if I remember right, Russia, like their national religion is atheism. I'm pretty sure. I can almost put money on that.
Well, look, Damien, it's like this, right? Like if we were at Korps's birthday party and we were about to sing happy birthday to him, and I started singing a different rendition of happy birthday than you did at the same exact time, like, wouldn't that be fucking distracting?
Sure,
Like,
but then I'd be like, I'd just go out and be like, bro, what the fuck was that? And then you tell me, oh, it's
exactly,
like,
bro. What the fuck was
no,
that?
But check this, because then you'd be like, oh, my family is from a different country, whatever, and that's what we do. That's what we do on our birthday. So I didn't know, and I'd be like, oh shit, where you from? Whatever. I would learn more about you. That's what I would say and do. But you know, and then with the whole bullying thing, I feel like, because that's what the chat was, right? The whole bullying.
Yeah.
About, like,
how would you handle bullying with the different renditions of the?
Comes with just being different, like bullying and like it's a double-edged sword. Unfortunately, the positive kind of gets overshadowed sometimes because there are bullies, there are dickheads out in the world, and that sucks. And it fucking isn't going to change just because you don't say what you're going to say out loud. The best thing about saying what you're going to say out loud is not only are you going to get people who are going to suck ass and be bullies, but you're going to get people who are genuinely interested, genuinely want to learn and be your friend and be cool and be, you know, along with the ride.
See, what I've noticed. What are we on? What is it? What episode is this? 8? 7?
6.
6 official?
6 official. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So this is 8 then, right? This is 8.
8.
Total,
Yeah.
right?
8 technically. Yeah. 8 technically.
And what I've noticed about you, D, not that it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
He knows.
But what I've noticed, what I've noticed is that, like, D is always trying to make it so that it's a perfect world. Like,
no, that's just real life. What do you mean?
It's not real life. Everybody having a different rendition of the Pledge of Allegiance at one time, at the same time in unison, is not real life. Like, it's not. It would be
that
so
isn't right now.
Everything could be. Everything could be, bro. Everything could be. That's what a perfect world is. Everything could be, right?
But I didn't even say. Oh, in a perfect world, nobody would get.
I know you did it. 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 But what I'm saying is, like, why can't everybody just do the normal Pledge of Allegiance? We live in America where the pledge was written. We're pledging our allegiance to this country. Why do we have to mix it up?
Because we're one of the most unique countries in the fact that we have such a large population of so many different people.
Why do they come here? And why do they come here? And why do they come here?
They do whatever the fuck they want because it's one of the most free countries in the world.
So we can't give 30 seconds to pledge our allegiance to this country where we're allowed to do whatever the fuck we want.
That's fine.
That's what I'm saying.
Such rigid. And I'm not even saying. Listen, it probably would be like problematic for a lot of people. People wouldn't like it, whatever. But I'm just saying, I don't see the big deal in allowing others to hold what they believe in and what is so endearing to them and so a part of their life.
But I'm not trying to change that. Nobody's trying to change that. Nobody's changing that. I'm not saying, hey, just because you're doing the Pledge of Allegiance, fuck what you believe. Like, that's not what I'm saying.
No, but I'm saying
you have to remember the main reason that everybody comes to this country. Everybody that's in this country comes to this country because of what they can do in this country. So to ask for 30 seconds to pledge your allegiance to the country that you love so much, the one that you fought to actually be here for, like, I don't like why change anything?
I mean, things are always changing. That's just kind of the nature of everything. And to ask the question, would it be a big deal to allow individuals to have their own rendition based off of what they believe in? I don't think it's that crazy to even ask. I think it would even bring people closer because not only am I using the words and the things that I hold the most dearest to me and my religion and whatever I believe in, to also show my appreciation to the country that I'm in would only bring me closer to the country. That's what I would think.
Ooh, I kind of I want to get into what you're saying, right? I
Mhm.
want to get into what you're saying, but I do want to put something here. Y'all got to remember Zero is from a different era than we are. True, true. And I'm going to add
I
to
think
it.
that's why the contrast of this show is so good.
And it is and because right, and the reason why I use Pledge of Allegiance, right, and especially used a Muslim example is because me and Cisco were both elementary school when 9/11 happened,
Yep,
and
I was in fifth grade. I remember when it happened.
that shit
I
changed.
visited the 9/11 memorial when I was in New York.
Bro, I went there when it was a hole. It was a hole. They were still digging out rubble. You get what I'm saying? Like, and seeing the candles. And I remember back then, like, it was like us versus anybody with a turban. You know what I mean? Anybody who looked or like Middle Eastern, it was us versus them, the 7-Eleven guys at Subway. Like, bro,
Yo,
hey,
Classified a whole group of people by where they work.
hey, I'm just saying whatever.
Canceled.
I'm a ventriloquist, okay? I'm just saying what people think. And so with the bullying thing, right? So to me, I think that is a place where teachers should be able to step in and be like, hey, you don't do that. Hey, what are you doing? You know what I mean? You don't pick on a kid for the way that he chooses to practice his life, right? Or he might, let's say these kids stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance, but they don't say it, right? Because I don't like this country. Like, I just got here. You know what I mean? Like, my parents fucking brought me here. I don't like this place. Like, I want to go back home, right? A teenager not understanding why they may be in this weird land. You get what I'm saying? I can understand why they might not want to say this allegiance because they don't have any. You get what I'm saying? And so
But then that's why you either say it or you don't. Like you have the freedom to not say the Pledge of Allegiance. That's fine. That's your freedom to do so. But if you're gonna say it, then say it how it's supposed to be said.
So where do teachers step in this? Because that to me, this to me is one of the moral dilemmas that we're having as a society.
Wait, where do teachers step in when it's time to say the Pledge of Allegiance? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's where do teachers step in? Like, in all of this shit. It's one of the biggest moral dilemmas I think that we're facing as a nation, right?
Well, I don't think with the Pledge of Allegiance the teachers should step in at all. Like,
wait, I'm curious on both.
Not just the Pledge of Allegiance. Not just the Pledge of Allegiance.
I'm curious because we're still on the Pledge of Allegiance. If every person that was religious in a different sense than God, right, like a Christian God, right, or a Catholic God, if every person who was religious in a different aspect, even atheists, were like, you know what, I'm not saying it unless God is stricken from the Pledge of Allegiance. What the fuck? I'm so sorry. Is my audio low?
No, you sound good.
Would you be opposed to? Would you rather have them have their own version or not say it at all?
Not say it at all.
Okay.
Because of the word God?
Yeah.
Okay, see, so I understand. Look, I understand why people wouldn't want to say God in the Pledge of Allegiance, right? Because we're supposed to have separation of church and state, which I completely I agree with that 100%. I don't think marriage should have anything to do with the state, especially if you get like married in a church, right?
But of those who fought and died for our country, but I will not say.
See?
Or say.
And that's
wait, what? I will stand out of respect for those who fought for and died for the country, but I will not. Okay.
But so my thing is, I don't think that the Pledge of Allegiance is written with God in mind of a state of religion. I think it's merely saying what I was saying earlier, that our freedoms that we have are our God-given rights. And that's the way that I believe that the pledge is written, because it says one nation under God. So it's basically just saying that regardless of what God you believe in, we are that nation under God. I don't think it's coming as from a religious standpoint.
I mean, I don't know. I think it is. Like, I think it has one God in mind, a particular God in mind.
Well, that's your opinion, though. You know what I mean?
I would say, because I know a few things.
No, wait, what? Both of those statements are opinions.
I would say.
What is it? Well, yeah, you're right. That's your opinion, and that's my opinion. Like,
Oh,
that's
okay.
your
I mean,
opinion. Yeah, I'm not saying what I'm saying is fact, but look at it like this: if you're Buddhist, right? I ask you, who's your God? If you're Hindu, I ask you, who's your God? If you're Muslim, I ask you, who's your God? If you're Christian, I ask you, who's your God? If you're Catholic, I ask you, who's your God? What's the main reference? God. So one nation under God. They don't say under the God. They don't say under Catholic God. They don't say under Jewish God. Like, they just say under God. So I don't think it has anything to do with the religious standpoint. But I can see where the argument would be. Whereas this nation was built on the backs of Catholic men, so that's where they refer to God, or Christian men, whatever the fuck the case may be, and that's where God comes from. I can see that. But again, my opinion is based off of the fact that I don't see anything else that's religious in the Pledge of Allegiance. So when they say one nation under God, it's built off of whatever concept of God you have.
I don't think, honestly, the more that I've studied, and y'all know what I'm talking about, the more that I've studied, I don't think it has anything to do with a deity. I think it has to do with a location, right? Like, look at the word under God, right? Every religion, any benevolent religion, their God is always up here, right? To rise, to ascend to, right? So one nation under God, what is under God if he is up? Is everything that is in this earth, right? Because our hells and our down planetary, yogic things are all down. Those are all down. Everything that's good, it rises. So anything underneath that is where our earthly realm exists. So one nation under God. So that's our one nation all over this world. All because you guys got to remember, the sun used to not set on the American Empire. The sun never sets on the American Empire. There's always it's always sunny in America. So one nation under God. So it's a place. It's not I think we get so used to this idea of just this simple deity, but it's more than that. It's much more than that. It's and to me, that's where the true meaning lies. That me as an American, anywhere I go, when I bump into another American, we are family because we are one nation across this whole planet. No matter where you are and I am, if we bump into each other, we are Americans, my boy. I got you. Very Masonic.
It is Masonic. I mean, the pledge was probably written by a Mason, honestly.
More than likely.
Sorry. If God, right, had no bearing on an actual individual that they had in mind, right? No actual individual type of religion, then there would be no issue on changing that word to whatever God you believe in.
So
you would say, like, you're saying, like, Muslims say one nation under Allah?
Under whatever you believe in. Under, yeah.
But Allah is their God.
Yeah, and if you just what you just said was that God can be placed into whatever, right? Into, as far as there's no individual religion that it was tied to when written, then there should be no issue with whoever changing that word to whatever God they believe.
But the issue is that you're no longer in unison. You're no longer together. You're no longer communal.
How? If every other,
because you're saying
everything else is the same, but I believe in a different God than you.
Okay, let me just put it to you like this: if there's a choir fucking singing, and then everybody in this choir started saying different parts because they didn't believe in that part, so they sung their own rendition, like, they would no longer be in unison. It would sound a mess.
That's a different thing. Now you're just talking about a different song.
Well, I'm talking about stuff that's supposed to be in unison. The Pledge of Allegiance is supposed to be in unison.
So your biggest thing, I would say, Cisco, your biggest thing is the uniformity of it all.
Correct, because that's the point of it.
Every word, every syllable to be the exact same.
Well, that's
amongst
everybody. That's how it's supposed to be said. Same thing with everything that has to do with this nation, the way that the nation was built, the way that the nation carries on and moves forward, our militaries. That's the reason why they all have similar haircuts. They all wear the same uniform. The only thing that is different is the little pins that they put on there because of based off what they did. But everything is in uniform, in unison, and it's supposed to be like that because it shows power. It shows we are united as a nation that we're pledging our allegiance to. That's the whole point of it. That's the whole point. Like, you can't change that. And if you do, like, why, like, what is the purpose of changing it? To make everybody feel included?
No, hopefully so that way people have more of a buy-in, because I'm actually I'm not only able to express how I am how I'm appreciating this country just by this little thing, by me being able to say it in the way that I would feel most comfortable and most appreciative saying.
So you're saying by, okay, so let's switch roles here.
Okay.
You're saying that it would make you feel more comfortable if you could say the Pledge of Allegiance differently, right? It would make you feel more comfortable.
No. I'm saying
You
if
just said that.
No, I'm saying if your main goal is to have everybody united, right? The ideal place to be is for everybody to be bought in the best way possible, right? You and you complete that. You wouldn't agree with that? How would you not agree with that?
Because how are you not more bought into a country that allows you to do pretty much whatever the fuck you want to do?
But in this moment, what he's saying though is, in this moment, to be fully invested, if I'm able to say one nation,
to make him comfortable, it would make it would,
not comfortable.
You said comfortable. You literally
I
said
literally
comfortable.
haven't said comfortable. You
rewind
said
it.
comfortable.
No, I did not. Rewind your stream. Rewind your stream.
You
You did say comfortable. I swear to God, rewind it like 45 seconds. You said comfortable. I swear on my fucking life.
Definitely though, I can see where he's saying where you're a little more I can say I'm more bought into this system and belief system. If you're okay, because I'm a bouncing between you, is where it's in this country I'm allowed to do whatever the fuck I want. But you're telling me in this one moment,
I'm listening to what you're saying.
Like, you're telling me in this one moment I'm not allowed to say Allah. In this one moment, I'm not allowed to say.
Okay, so here's the argument, right? The argument is comfortability, one, and two, being bought into this country by being able to change something, right? Now, let me just put it to you like this, right? One, fuck your comfortability, because what if I say that you changing the words of the Pledge of Allegiance makes me uncomfortable? So how is your comfortability gonna make me comfortable, and how is my uncomfortability gonna make you? You know what I mean? Like, we got to make everybody comfortable, right? Okay, so somebody's not gonna.
Okay, comfortable might be the wrong word then.
Okay, now
comfortability of people, I agree, shouldn't matter at all the time. It's not everybody should be. Oh, bro, I'm so fucking comfortable with everything that happens here. I don't actually believe that. Comfortability was a wrong word, so I don't want to get too hung up on that.
So now, being bought in, right? Fuck that. You stand in front of servicemen and tell them that you want to change the words of the Pledge of Allegiance, and and see how bought in you really are.
Well, like, I mean, I'd
imagine how much, like, you're bought. I feel like you're more bought into this country by pledging the allegiance that has been given to us. Now you're bought into the country because you're standing as a true American, stating the words that every American learns as a child. Like, why change that? That's being in unison.
See, like, I'll say from my own personal, like, I could really give a fuck. Like, you know, my people were massacred to build this country. Like, you know what I mean? We got wiped out. But I am very American to the bone, and I'm trying to set this all up pretty good for the next one.
But just for the record, like, if you don't, it's either you say the Pledge of Allegiance how it's written, or you don't say it at all. And I have no issue with people not saying it for their reasons of uncomfortability, or because they want to say something else. Sure, but if you like, it's one or the other. You either say it or you don't say it.
What if like half the people in a room don't say it? Then hella people aren't unified. Wouldn't that fall into
if they're standing up, that's fine. Just like Sly said earlier, he's not going to place his hand over his heart. He's not going to say the words, but he's going to stand up because he understands the reasoning for stating the Pledge of Allegiance. He doesn't believe in the words, but he respects the country enough to stand up in unison with everybody else. See, that's fair.
But that's hard though. That's hard for me. And I don't always say the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't always stand up for, you know, the national anthem. It's hard for me. You know what I mean? Because my grandpa was in World War II. You know what I mean? Pops, Vietnam. You know, had family in Korea, had family in Iraq. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's hard for me to not want to say these words, right? Because these are the oaths that they took, you know what I mean, and fought for. And so it's hard for me. But then at the same time, I also know what this country did to my people. So even when I do say the Pledge of Allegiance, I may be saying God, but I'm not talking about a Hebrew God.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I'm not talking about this God that erupted out of Israel. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know, if a Muslim, if I'm hearing him say the Pledge of Allegiance and he goes, you know, Alhamdulillah, like I'm not gonna say shit to him because he's saying it in the tongue in which he's showing his most appreciation. It's like, to me, I think the main focus, and there's, I think it's the only middle ground I can really find on the argument where it's like, let them say it the way they want to say it. That part.
Sure, if you want to say it however you want,
just that part. Just
but what
part.
But what I'm saying is, if what?
Wait, I'm confused. Did you guys just say the Pledge of Allegiance? That part, however they want?
If they like, if you're the original argument was if we change the Pledge of Allegiance to be able to be like, if that becomes a law, like you can say the Pledge of Allegiance however you want to say it. Like if that becomes just a mass thing, do I see an issue with that? Yes.
Incorporated into law? Is that the question?
No, not incorporated. I'm just saying like a what is it? Like unestablished
socially,
like a social law. Like everybody gonna change.
Okay, so now I don't understand. I don't think people should be able to just say whatever they want to pledge the allegiance. The part that I was hung up on was,
I understand, it's the to God, under God.
Yeah, under God.
Yeah, under God.
Under God.
But then why were you arguing if you just agreed that to say whatever?
Because I disagree with it. Because
I disagree with it. I disagree with it.
I don't think that should be a thing.
I disagree.
I'm not saying that I'm going to go beat somebody up because they're fucking changing the words of the Pledge of Allegiance.
Would you tell them anything?
Would I say anything?
Yeah.
Most likely not.
No. But if there was,
that's their freedom to do that.
Yeah, but I would question their patriotism.
But you were asking my opinion on it. My opinion is you either say the pledge how it's written or you don't say it at all. That's my opinion.
Yeah, if I'm gonna say it, if the words are going to come out of my mouth, I am going to say them as they were written, right? Like when I'm dancing choreography.
And I'm not gonna say something to somebody because I'm not a fucking dickhead. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I have my own beliefs. Like, I have my beliefs and I stand very strongly by them. But if somebody is pledging to their own fucking God or whatever, like, I'm not gonna fucking be like, "Hey, dickhead!" Like, that's not the fucking words. You know what I mean? Like,
what if amongst friends, all three of us happen to be at a place, and I say it a different way?
By all means.
Yeah. Why would I say anything differently to you?
Well, we're not strangers. I feel like you know me enough, but why wouldn't you say anything to me? I'm just confused.
I just told you it's your fucking right to do that. I don't care what you do.
But if you turned and looked at me and said, "Corpse, hey, bro, does it
notice that I said that? Yeah, like do you hear what I'm saying when I do the Pledge of Allegiance?
Hey, does that bother you? I'll be like, yeah, it does. Actually, it does fucking bother me, bro. But you're an American, you can do whatever you want. But if you ask me, you should say it the way that it's written, or just don't say nothing at all.
See, this is the issue. This is what I like. I think that you were under the impression that I'm gonna fucking like I shit on.
I don't think you're gonna. No, that I don't think you would go and just be like, bro, what the fuck? Like, say it right. I don't think you're gonna do that. But it's just, I don't know. The difference between how everything was just said right now seems like, oh yeah, like go for it. But it feels like the argument,
because you asked me my opinion. That was my opinion. That's my argument. My argument is I don't think that it should be said a different way. I don't think that. I genuinely don't think that the Pledge of Allegiance should be said a different way. I don't think that it should be changed. I don't think that it should be told in school like, hey guys, if you guys want to say something different on this part, go right for it. Like, no, we shouldn't advertise that. Now, if you take it upon yourself to do so, by all means, you have the right to do so. I can't tell you what you can and can't say. But if it was up to me, you would either say it or you don't say it. Say it how it's written or don't say it at all. That's my opinion. But like I said, I'm always going to be fair to everybody, right? That's why I say fuck people's comfortability, because one person's comfortability means it's another person's uncomfortability. So that's like, you have to be fair in situations. Mm-hmm. But my opinion doesn't have to be that. Like, my opinion could be that I'm very patriotic. I believe the Pledge of Allegiance should be said how the Pledge of Allegiance is to be said. But if you're gonna say it differently, and I hear you say it differently, like I'm not gonna talk shit to you because that's your right to do so.
Absolutely.
That's what I believe in. What I believe in is you have the right to do whatever the fuck you want to do. If you want to do that, go ahead and fucking do it. Because that's why I say the Pledge of Allegiance the way that it's written. Because I'm pledging my allegiance to this country where we're given that right to do whatever the fuck.
But I also have the freedom to answer you honestly if you ask me if it pisses me off.
Exactly.
If I think that you should say that,
yeah. No, I agree.
I have the right to answer that truthfully. But you
Does that make sense now? Does it make sense where I'm coming from?
No,
Yeah.
I completely understand.
I think you guys have all made. Dude, I think this is a healthy conversation that more people need to have, bro.
Save
like
real quick. Are you okay?
Am I okay? Yeah, why?
Yeah. I don't know, bro. I just want to make sure we're good. You know, we've been fighting a lot recently.
No, bro, we're good.
There's always love.
Yeah, and that's what I told you. So here's the thing: is I don't know if you like. I said it earlier, right? And Jordan even said it. Like we have to remember that you're from a different generation. Granted, you're only like you're less than a decade younger than us, but you're still like a good chunk of an age. Like an era had passed.
An era definitely has passed between us.
An era has passed between our generation and your generation. So you have to understand that that's why a lot of the things that Korpsx and I think about are very similar, opposed to how you think. So it's not like I'm coming at you. It makes for good content. You know what I mean? Like
bro,
the way that you think, the way that I
don't
think.
understand. Like people, like, and I hate to say this because I'm not that much older than you, but it's like, bro, bro, people your age, right, and younger, do not understand how American we were in 2001. Like people,
I was there, bro. Okay.
Yeah, you were 2 fucking years old, motherfucker.
6 months old, bro. What the fuck?
Still in the womb.
That's like being born in '99 and be like,
yeah, honestly, that was the most.
Wait.
That was
90s baby. I have my fucking card. Okay. I got
what 98, right? Dick. You're a 2000s baby, bro. You're
I'm
good,
a 99
man.
baby.
No, but that era,
right?
That era was absolutely insane to watch. The world, like our nation, come together in the way that it did. Was fucking insane, bro. Like I remember exactly where I was. I remember everything about that day to a T. And it's crazy because if you ask me what I did last week, I couldn't tell you what the fuck happened. You know what I mean? But yeah, I remember to a T. And honestly, I feel like that is what makes me as patriotic as I am today, because I've seen the country come together in a sense of something like that, right? Like I've seen the country come together when America's in the World Cup. I've seen shit like that, but nothing compared to that day and the days that followed after it. And like even the day when Bin Laden was killed. When Bin Laden was killed, that was a crazy day too, bro. Like,
bro, when they killed those first Americans, when they beheaded those first fucking Americans, I remember that video going around and being like, dude, this like my brother's over there. Like my brother's over there. Like, what the fuck? Like this. And I just remember, bro, like people don't understand, fam, what it felt like watching the news every night. And I remember Channel 13 News at 11 p.m., they would scroll all the names of the local guys who had died in action in Iraq. People don't know what it felt like to sit in front of the TV and wonder if you're going to see your fucking brother's name. They don't know what that felt like. They don't know what it felt like to have people like, you know what I mean? Like in today, everyone's worried about fucking Trump or fucking Biden, and they swear our fucking nation's is bound to fucking crumble. And it's like, bro, y'all don't remember when the fucking towers got hit, bro?
real quick.
Like they bombed the fucking Pentagon, dog. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like conspiracy or not, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like whether it was an inside job, whether Hitler was bad or not, it's all a fucking conspiracy.
We're not touching that. Somebody said, so American that the country went against anyone who looked Middle Eastern. Lamau. Yeah, I was gonna say I agree. I agree with you guys as far as like I think there should be I was going to say massive. There should be a very healthy amount of patriotism. You should be proud of where you're coming from. You should be bought into like the country that you're from, because if not, then you like shit. I think like too many people do shit on America, and they're living in America. Like it doesn't make any fucking sense sometimes.
Yeah.
And some people shit on America when they can be in other places, and that doesn't make any fucking sense. So I agree. I think there should be a lot of respect from where you're from. You should be happy and proud to be where you're from. And I have to piss.
All right.
So give me 1 second.
All right, because dude, we're right, dude. Oh my god, I can segue into this next part so easy.
Go D, go. We want to see the dick swing.
I know. Is he wearing?
My bad, bro. My boy fucking stopped by right now and like he got me this fucking like Eagles bomber.
Oh, that's sick as fuck, dude.
Yeah, shout out to Gabe, bro. I was like, who the fuck? Because nobody knows that I live in this back house. So I'm like, who the fuck is knocking on my door right now? But it was him. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, dude. Like I was telling Damo right now, bro. Like,
dude, I like arguing against Damien. Shit's fun as fuck.
Bro, and sometimes, dude, like I just forget, like even though like a small little era passed in between us, bro, I do feel like so much happened between, let's say, like 2001 to like 2005-ish, and then from 2005 to 2008, and then you go, there was like 8 years where shit was kind of like, shit was cool. Obama, there was a lot of shit going on over there, like across the pond type shit. But here at home, there wasn't really much going on. You know what I mean? Like, and then you have Trump step in, and then everything fucking just kind of has turned haywire. You know what I mean? Everything went haywire. And just to think, like, we're only a few years separated from him, but we've not only saw these experiences, like we experienced this shit. Like, yeah, you might have heard about Obama getting elected to president, the first black president. But I was like a freshman in high school or like a sophomore in high school when he got elected president. Like,
damn, I was a senior.
Yeah. You're the same grade as my sister.
Look at that dick, bro. He made it all hard before he came in here. Look at him.
I know he's like Yo, no way.
Clip it. Clip it.
Bro, I got it. That's 126 flat, bro. Oh my god. Oh my god, that was fucking good.
That was great, bro. That was so fucking good.
But I do think that and this is going to sound bad because this is going to go to a point that I was kind of trying to make earlier.
Wait, hold on. But they teach that shit in history now, right? 9/11?
Yes,
They teach it in the history books?
Yeah, they do.
Damn, that's going to be crazy because Peanut's going to learn about that in social studies, and then, like, I'm going to get to talk to him about, like, where the fuck I was at when it happened.
Bro.
That's fucking wild.
I mean, dude, my dad and Martin Luther King Jr. were like a few years apart in age. You know what I mean? Like,
bro, our parents were around. Our parents were around when segregation was still a thing.
A fucking thing, bro.
Our parents. I don't know about Zero's parents.
I don't think so. I don't think so, but
like at the end of segregation, it was like
my mom's like 46, 47. 47, something like that.
So towards the end.
Towards the end. Yeah.
Towards the end.
Not like 60 plus. It's like 60 plus years now, bro. What do you mean?
Well, it was like what, the 50s? The 50s and 60s was segregation.
That's 70 years ago, bro. We're you're about to be 30. Did you just turn 30?
Yeah.
Yeah. He just said his mom is 57, right?
No, my mom's like 47, 47.
47. She's only
50 years. So 20 years removed from segregation.
She was 20 years removed from segregation.
Yeah, about 20 years.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. That's still long. That's a long time though. It's not that long, but it's long.
So matter of fact, like my grandpa fought in the Battle of Hayes Pond out in Maxton, North Carolina, and that's where the Ku Klux Klan was trying to have a rally, and the natives went there and like fought back, like, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's famous, bro. They teach that in fucking, my man Jordan, you know the deal. Like they teach that in history books in North Carolina. I think they teach that here in Cali too, but I'm not sure. So we were making a good point.
Interesting fucking community.
What's that?
I said the Ku Klux Klan is an interesting community.
Very strange.
Like,
they're very strange men.
Their morals are still strong enough, or like their ideology is still strong enough to hold and withstand everything that they've gone through, and for them to still be around. That's fucking insane.
That's dedication, brother. That is dedication to an idea.
True dedication.
Mhm.
Shout out to the KKK.
No
you know
way.
why? Because they have uniforms, bro. That's why.
They have uniforms. They all wear the same thing. They all wear fucking bed sheets. But okay, so like with the Pledge of Allegiance, right? And Zero made a good kind of a point that I want to segue on, where it's like, I think to me, right? I think that there needs to be a higher sense of nationalism in our country, right? I do believe that, and I know I'm going to catch some flack because of some earlier comments about
Canceled.
I know, and we just shouted out the KKK. So
That was a fucking
Canceled.
This is about to get weird, but I do think there needs to be a higher sense of nationalism, right? And I've gone so far to start thinking that maybe we should.
Wait. Rewind. And can you explain what you mean by that?
So the Nationalist Party was established under, the guise of Germany first, right? Like, we're going to build a German economy and we're going to rebuild the German people after World War I, because they were thrown into a depression. That's like right after they lost, right? Got thrown into a depression. And the Nationalist Party came around and rallied around the idea of rebuilding the country from the inside out. That was something that, a couple of our presidents have, campaigned on.
Maybe the last one?
The last one was a huge one. Bernie Sanders campaigns on that idea, right? He is
Bernie Sanders also campaigns on a lot of other shit too.
A lot of other shit that's a little crazy, but Bernie's my guy. Even though he looks like his fucking head's about to fall off. Like, dude is a fucking dinosaur.
I need some money to run for president.
And $1 billion. Fucking dude is fucking nuts. But I like Bernie. Bernie's my guy. Bernie's my dude in Tulsi Gabbard. But and Tulsi Gabbard has a very America first, get out of fucking, get out of the Middle East, get out of this, get out of that. And I support those type of ideas. I'm a very American first, make America great, and then we can worry about the rest of the fucking world. I know what I just.
Whoa!
You guys can fucking clip it. I know what I just said.
He didn't say again. He's good. He's not the full MAGA. He just has the MAG.
You can fucking clip it and fucking send it to your granny. I don't care, dude.
Granny would be appreciative. She'd be like, "Fuck yeah,
make America great, bro." Like,
give me another Bud Light from the transgenders,
bro. Like. Dude, we're getting rowdy.
All right, settle down, boys. Settle down.
Do you think that we should? So, do you think teachers should teach nationalities to our kids? Right? Because when you look at, or let's not say teachers, but let's say school system, right? In the school systems, and even on job applications, that one I won't touch. But in the school system, they have you mark, in your like end of year testing and shit, like what ethnicity you are. And it has like African American, Mexican American, Filipino American. Why are we doing that?
Well, I know exactly why.
Why would we do? I mean, I got some ideas, but
the
why?
Schools want more money, baby. When they got more money,
it does give them, yeah.
You said what?
No, I was saying it does give. I forgot that it given more money depending on what you are. Yeah.
Yeah, based on your nationality and your grades, depending on the average of your nationality doing well at that school, depends on how much more money they get.
Okay, so Sly asks, what do you mean by teaching nationalities, though? So I believe that you should be able to teach nationalities, right? Nationalities meaning what nation you hail from, right? Where does your family lineage come from, right? Now, this gets a little squirrely because ethnicity and nationality kind of, there's like a weird gray area. So
I don't think anybody knows the difference.
Do you get these people who get into these fucking definitional, like this stupid bullshit, like gender and sex isn't the same fucking thing?
Okay, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about ethnicity. That's
and nationality.
Let's not get started because we're gonna get canceled. But
so it's the same thing though. It's like this weird gray area of, but I get it because you can come. Your nationality can be African, right?
I think your nationality is where you're from, like what nation your family's from. Your ethnicity is your heritage, like your background,
Yeah,
like
like
your where, like the
literally
blood
where
that.
your DNA comes from.
Correct. Yeah, yeah.
So I think there needs to be more distinction, right? Because obviously I'm an idiot. So there needs to be better distinctions,
Wait.
right?
Okay.
Right. Well, let's make this. Let's get some distinctions going, right? Because I'm Native American, but I'm American through and through, right? And I think somebody who's been born here, right? Like you should pledge allegiance here. You were born here. You are an American. You are guaranteed certain rights because you were fucking born here, bro. Matter of fact, in some cases, you may have just guaranteed your parents certain rights because you were born here, right?
You talking about the natives, right?
No, just any nationality, any
Any
right?
nationality that was born here.
Anybody, any human being born on U.S. soil is a U.S. citizen.
Yeah, that's
Correct.
your nationality.
That's your nationality.
Mhm.
That's the
But they're-
nation you were born to, right? Your
Yeah.
ethnicity may be Mexican.
Mhm.
So, do we teach our children that you are Mexican American or
Mhm.
that you are American?
Mexican American.
To me,
I feel like you're Mexican. I feel like I'm Mexican American.
Yeah.
I think that's something that should be taught at home, right?
Nah.
That's your parents' job to
Yeah,
teach
but you
you.
don't.
Yes,
But they're
we
not
are-
teaching that. You're not like lining up at school and they're like, oh, Mexican American, African American,
Yeah, and you're
Filipino American. Like they're not like
Bro.
where are you learning that in school?
Oh, bro, all over, all over,
How?
all over, bro. So let's take it like this, right? Let's take it like this. So you start teaching about civil rights, right? And we say, oh, our African American student congregation here, this is what happened to your people, right? Why are we addressing ourselves that way? Like, why? Like, to me, when you start putting that little hyphen there, you're allowing that space right there is the space in our brain when we're using our language, right? In our brain, I feel like there's a connection of you are different than me. You should be treated different than I, because there's this hyphenation there. You're
What
not
do
just
you mean? Which hyphen?
so Mexican.
Oh,
American.
because you're not American, you're Mexican American or African American.
So it creates this step down, step down, step down,
Mm.
step down, step down. It's like no,
Well,
no, no,
that's-
no, 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 no.
Because you're divided, right? Like now you're divided. You're not American. You're fucking
You're Mexican
American. Yeah. Okay. So I've had this thought process before, but like we should all we also need to be like not only am I proud to be an American, I'm very proud to be an American. Like I'm proud as fuck, right? Like I'm so happy that I was born here in America. But I have to thank my Mexican father who is from Mexico,
Mhm.
right? So like I still have to show pride in my heritage because if it wasn't for my Mexican father and the way that he was born and brought up and where he came from and deciding to move here to America, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have the rights that I have. So I'm also prideful in the heritage and how I grew up at home, which is not in American. I mean, there is no American traditional style of being raised, right? But I was raised in a Mexican style where I was raised in like a Mexican manner, right?
Mhm.
So I'm very proud to be Mexican, but I am American. But I'm so therefore I see no issue in calling myself a Mexican American, but I can see where there is a division in people that are like, oh well, I'm Mexican American, you're African American. Like we're not all American. We might have American in us somewhere, but I see where that issue can come from. I get you, but I also see no issue in like I see no issue in people waving Mexican flags here in America,
Oh no,
Kenyan
no, no.
flags, Netherlands flags, German flags, all that stuff. Like I see no issue in that because you're proud. Like when Portugal won the World Cup, right? It was
Mhm.
Portugal, right?
No, Argentina.
Argentina. When Argentina won the World Cup and there was people all over the streets waving their Argentina flags and shit like that was dope. And guess what? We live in a fucking country where you can do that shit
Absolutely.
and be proud of where your heritage is from.
Absolutely.
That's what I love about it. Because we're a melting pot. America has no backbone. Like there's no backbone to what American culture is because
That's how you establish American culture, though.
what do you mean?
By everybody saying the same Pledge of Allegiance. By everybody saying, I'm American. That's how you breed. I mean, we're still such a young country, right? We're still, in comparison to Egypt, right, or England, we're such a young fucking country. So they've had this issue long fucking time ago, right? Like long time ago. The
Yeah,
Greeks,
what do they call the black people in UK?
English.
They don't call them like African English.
I don't think French African is a thing, dude.
French African is a thing, isn't that Creole?
Creole is more of like a subculture, from what I understand. From what I understand, is like I think they were like tribes. They were like tribes out in the Caribbean, if I remember right. Like in Cuba, they had the Taino and they had I think it was like the Saboni or something, or Saboni or something like that. But you would call them all Cuban, right? They're all Cubans, but inside of them they had these different tribes, right? Just like here, they call all of us Native Americans, but you had fucking hundreds of tribes, hundreds of different. You know what I mean? Jordan,
What do you prefer?
Wait,
You
what-
prefer? Go ahead, D.
I was just gonna say, wouldn't that be kind of the same? If there's subdivisions within a thing, within a unit, right? Wouldn't that just be the same as like almost like Mexican American anything?
That's what I was just about to say too. Like, are we not the subdivisions?
Yeah, it's like at
Of
the end of the
Americans.
day, we're all Americans, but it's all Mexican American, Native American, whatever it may be.
see, but that was
ama-
also the problem. That was the problem, though, that led to the downfall of the true American Empire, which was us natives, right? You had some of us who were willing to deal with the French. You had some of us that were willing to deal with these Germanic Vikings that came. We were willing to deal with the Spaniards. We were willing to deal with the English because, they said, hey, you know what? You just help us out for a little bit. You know what I mean? Well, we're just going to camp out right here. Boom, 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 boom. And then our warring tribe with another warring tribe allowed these people to come in between us. And that division happened, grew, and spread. And now you have America.
Oh, you're
Right.
talking about like a civil war within subdivisions causing enough fracture to have another
Us being
individual or whatever.
fractured, yeah, us in our own, because people like to say like, oh, the tribes were here warring before Europeans got here. True. Okay, whatever, dude. We fought over resources like anybody else does. Okay, whatever. But if we could have had more unison when these strange men came on these strange boats from strange places, if we would have had more unison, we might be looking at a different America today. You know what I mean?
I don't think so, but
I think so.
I
Because
think the downfall was gonna happen regardless.
Weren't they like more
Guns, bow and arrow.
Yeah, I was
guns,
gonna say
bow and
weren't they
arrow.
more
I mean,
technologically advanced and everything. I was gonna say, Trip has
armor, no armor.
if it wasn't
throwing rocks,
if it
bullets.
wasn't, no, dude, honestly, if it wasn't for Native Americans, bro, like, and just aiding and assisting them in some of the smallest ways, like, bro, they would have died out. Like the Spaniards.
No, I'm
down in
sure.
Mexico,
I'm sure. Yeah, where they got fucking obliterated. Yeah, we're not talking about that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, a lot of them were dying from their own diseases, but we went there to assist them, and that's how we caught it. Like, you get what I mean? Like I would have to say, I don't want to throw like a random number, but I would have to say majority of natives were not killed by gunfire.
Okay, so let me ask you this: since you're so patriotic, but you're also Native American, would you
Mhm.
rather live it? Would you rather live in this country if it was ran by natives, or are you happy that it's ran by Americans?
Mm,
And you're a Mason. Oh, damn, that's a fucking hard ass question, huh?
there's whole traveling groups of Native Masons, like whole groups.
Isn't that counterproductive though in the ideology of like Americans taking the land from natives?
No, because that has nothing to do with masonry. That has the conquest of America was had really nothing to do with the tenets of what masonry stands for. You know what I mean? That's kind of more of like victims of the time type shit.
Sure, but okay, go ahead, continue.
I am American through and through, and I do understand that I have a slave name, right? Like Putch is my name, and I tell people that Putch. If you call me Putch, it's because I've allowed you to call me my name. You know what I mean? Ronald is my slave name. That's my American Christian
Ronald.
name. Yeah, that is my American name, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? And I have people call me Ron. You know what I mean? Like at work and shit. Like you can call me Ron, whatever. But
I will
my
never, ever in my life ever call you that. I will.
You said
never.
Ronald, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Who is
dude, I don't look like a Ronald. I look like a Putch. Like that's such a random name. And I have such a random face.
Ronald.
Hey,
Ronnie.
Ronnie. And so yeah, it is tough. It is tough because I don't know what society would look like today if
Let's say in a perfect world.
Stop it.
if we were still living in teepees and wigwams and all that shit. I don't know. I don't know if I would like it any more than I do now, right? Because I've never experienced that. Now I have slept in a teepee, I have slept in a wigwam, and it's fucking amazing. I know how to sing, I know how to dance in my culture. You know what I mean? I know how to practice the ceremony of death in my culture, and it's beautiful. So I don't. There's not a lot that I could really attest to other than what would we have electricity by this time, if Europeaners hadn't came? Like would we have
Did
certain
you just
things?
call them Europeaners?
Europeaners, Europeaners,
He almost said it was a
Europeans?
B.
Europeans. Oh. These fucking colonizers, if they hadn't
Fucking
came.
colonizer.
Now Native Americans had their own advancements that we had done. Like they know Mayans came up with the concept of zero, and that these motherfuckers were doing like brain surgery. Oh boy, what's his name? Fucking Sequoia from Cherokee is the reason why we have the alphabet that we have today. He came up with the whole Cherokee alphabet, and the alphabet that we have today, like a lot of it, he put together. Like later there was letters added and shit, but he was the reason. A lot of the laws and the ways that we practice our laws all come from Iroquois, all come from the Iroquois Confederacy. So like, I don't know how much different life would really be. You know what I mean? Like the style of law that we practice, democracy was already here. We had a whole fucking confederacy up in the Northeast.
Yeah, I was just curious. I've always been curious because a lot of natives are like, colonizer this and they took our land and blah 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 blah, but like are still the ones protesting because they have the power of protest based on their constitutional rights of living here in America.
Yeah, and a lot of natives are like Sunday Christians. They're powwow natives. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They've never been in the delegations. You know what I'm saying? And
I know the only reason I'm asking you and talking to you about it because I know who your pops was and I
Mhm.
know like where he stood and like how big he was, and so that's the only reason I asked you that.
Oh, dude, and don't be fooled. My dad was a white man in a lot of ways. You get me? Like he ate the steak dinners with those guys. You know what I mean? So he enjoyed his little American life of luxury when he had it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for fun, motherfucker. But and so like even for me, I don't like being called Native American. So it's hard. It's hard when I say I don't think that we should teach these hyphenations because
So
I
it's
don't want.
cringy for you. Is it cringy for you when somebody like myself or Damien like consider ourselves Mexican American?
No, I understand where you guys are coming from, right? But I think in a sense your parents did good raising you guys. You know what I mean? They did a good job instilling who you are as a person, right? I think a teacher's job, to get back to how we're
Oh yeah, that's what I was asking you. Where are we learning this in school? Like where are we learning that I'm Mexican American in school?
when you're filling it in on the fucking Scantron, right? When you're filling it in on the Scantron, when you're like, bro, and like nowadays they're having like, nowadays they have the fucking dude at CI, they had a fucking Pride Week, right? And so they do Mexican Culture Week and they do this week and that week. Those are cool. Those are cool. Those are cool, right? Like those are cool. But let's make sure that
Say it one more time. One more time. Say it one more time.
it's cool.
Okay, just
It's
to make sure
cool.
everybody heard it. Okay,
I
it's
just wanted
fucking
to clarify
cool,
that it was
right?
cool.
Right.
Clear.
It,
It's
like
cool.
those parts are okay. But when we're in the classroom, let's ensure that we're doing certain American culture valued practices,
Like
right?
drinking
Okay,
Bud
this is where I'm gonna
Light.
disagree with you. I'm gonna disagree with you. Drink the Bud Light from the transgenders, damn it!
The Pledge of a fucking Allegiance, dude.
No,
Let's
but here's where I'll
say the
disagree with
Pledge of
you.
Allegiance together.
Okay, so I think that creating those types of events at schools are necessary for American culture.
Wait, say that
Because
again.
I think that creating those types of things in school are appropriate for the American culture.
Yes. I agree.
Because you're
But-
understanding that there are different cultures that make up America.
Okay.
And you're learning about those cultures, right? Like, but
Even if
it's hard though.
Even okay, bro. I don't mind. Have whatever fucking week you want, right? Have Armenian week, have German week, have whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. But on a daily basis, I feel that there should be a practice that says, hey, we are American. We are American people. Yes, inside of our American congregation, we have Latinos and we have Africans. And this is,
I
in
prefer
this
Hispanic.
or okay.
No, just fucking with you.
Latine, whatever the fuck people want to get called it. I don't care, right?
If you
your
want to call me Latinx, though, don't call me that.
dude, and you get what I'm saying? Like, there's already so many arguments of how people should be addressed, and I think that to subdue all of that, right? Let's just keep it American, bro. Like, there is no American X except the movie. You know what I mean? There's
Great movie, by the way.
amazing movie. Everybody go watch it. But it's going to help subdue a lot of the issues that we have dividing us. Because if you can't address me a certain way, then how can you hurt me that way? Right? Like, if I don't care if people call me a redskin.
See, that's
right?
okay. This is an old school way of thinking, and because I'm on the same boat as you, right? Like, if I've been called every book in the name already, or every name in the book already, and this, that, and the other, and been shit talked by my friends with, and being in uncomfortable spaces, like, there's nothing that anybody can say that's gonna hurt my fucking feelings. But that's not how people think these days. Like, it doesn't work like that anymore. It doesn't work like that.
It should start working like that more.
I agree with you. D, are you okay with being labeled as Latinx?
Honestly, I'm a little uncomfortable right now. I'm about to leave. Nah. I just want to say real quick, Trip Hazard agrees a lot with what you're saying, Pudge.
My guy.
And I do too, actually. I think I talked about this with my girlfriend. I think there's a lot of division, and I don't think that should
Your
be the
mic
case.
is going out, I think.
Is it? Hello?
It's very low, like extremely low.
Oh,
Oh,
bro,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know why this thing keeps
Oh,
changing.
yeah,
That was really loud. It's
Now
a
you're
little loud now.
You're
Okay.
yelling at me, dude.
Is it there? Is
I'm
it good?
sorry.
Right there. I think it's good.
Okay.
If you're gonna talk
Um,
loud, at least show your dick.
I know, dude. If you're gonna yell at
At
me,
least smack your dick on, like.
just tap it.
We'll just bring it down real quick.
Yes.
I only brought it slightly down. Okay, it's just that fucking
Oh my
mega.
god.
Anyway, I think there should be a lot of unification. There shouldn't be so many divisive. You're this, you're that, and we're something else, and you're another thing, and you should take that into account. And I think there should be broad, kind of like, we're all in this together. We're all this one thing. We're all American. And to be honest, at least if I'm understanding it right, it seems like Mexican American, technically, if you were born here, isn't a thing. You are American. You're not really Mexican American. Your nationality is American, but where you came from and how you learned those things are different, and like what your culture might
Your
be.
ethnicity.
Your ethnicity.
Uh-huh.
I lost the word, but I was trying to dance around it because I fucking forgot it.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you. But where you came from and everything should definitely be a part of your life, and you should be proud of it. But at the end of the day, if you're born here, or if you have if you were what is it when you're not born here but you come over here and you do all the paperwork?
Immigrate,
No,
yeah.
no, not
Nationalize.
when you're nationalized. Exactly. That's when you can call yourself, I guess,
Same shit.
Mexican American or ex-American.
Dual
So you believe that? You believe that?
When you have dual citizenship, then
I
you
can
really
fuck with it. I
understand
can
where you're
fuck with that. I
coming
can
from,
fuck
a
with that.
different place.
can
You were
fuck with
born at a different place. You have heritage, or you have you're bought into another place, but you came here because you want to live here and you want to be here, and you're now American X, like you came from Germany, so you're German American or whatever the fuck it may be. That's when
you
you're
believe
like,
So you believe if you were born here, you should just go by American.
I think it should be American. Yeah.
All right,
I can so I can agree with it in a standpoint, but I also believe that like people shouldn't be against those who consider themselves African American or Mexican American, Filipino American, things of that nature, because some people do want to show their heritage more than they want to show their nationality.
I'll say this. Right. And I don't believe in this. Well, I kind of do, but I don't.
Okay, what percentage?
We got to hear the standpoint on this. We got to hear
What
how much of this
percentage-
you actually agree
What
on.
percentage do you?
Maybe
10%?
like out of 100%, like I'm like totally bought in. I'm like at like a solid 70. Like
Jesus,
it's a fair point. It's a
Okay, so you
fair-
believe in this. You believe in this. You believe in this.
I believe in it more than I don't believe in it. I'll say that.
Okay.
Because it's a fair fucking point and it's
Let's
hard for me to
fucking hear it.
disprove. Right. It's hard for me to argue against it. That's what I like about debates. Like, and even this, like, because sometimes we just end up in a stalemate and that's perfect. And it's like, good. Like, that's somewhere we can pick up later.
I think we all agree on the American thing.
Yes. To an extent. To an extent.
I think so, for the most part.
Yeah, there's like gray areas, I feel. But check it out. Why? So the argument was should we have hyphenations, right? So let's say Mexican American, a kid who was born here, never been to Mexico. You're African American. Have you ever been to the homeland? Have you ever been to the homeland? Do you
That's
know
right.
do you know your language?
They call it the motherland.
I feel like anybody who like knows me knows that I say I'm American. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's it. I am.
You liberal fuck.
I have been to I have been to Mexico, but like, am I gonna sit here and be like, bro?
Just because you've been to Mexico doesn't mean that you're
That's
Mexican.
no. But he's saying, have you ever even been to the homeland? Is the but so I'm like I've been to Mexico, but I'm not gonna sit here and be like I'm the most Mexican motherfucker you've ever met, bro. It feels wrong for me to claim that. So I'm American. I was born here, raised here. Here I am.
And I fuck with that. And I fuck with that wholeheartedly, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm American. I'm Native American. I am a Latino and I'm Lumbee Native American, bro, from the fucking woodlands of North Carolina down to the mountains of fucking La Jolla. But I never lived on
Hoya, baby.
Never lived on that res. Never lived on it. Never ever lived on it. Been there plenty of times, right? Never lived on it. So to me, I'm not like a res Indian because res Indians get a certain respect from our community. Federally recognized tribes get a certain respect from our community versus state recognized versus unrecognized. You get what I'm saying? So to me, for people, they say, oh, well, I'm African American. It's like, oh, where were you born? Oh, I was born in Camarillo. Like, dog, like dog. Like, what the fuck are you saying? Like,
What if their parents are from Kenya?
Okay, but have you been to the fucking homeland? Your parents are African American, if you ask me. Because I look at it almost reversed, right? To have a hyphenation puts you almost above what a normal American citizen is. To me, to have a hyphenation, you have to have like dual citizenship. And to have dual citizenship, to me, like you are legit as fuck. Because I barely have citizenship in America. Dude, I could not tell you what the Bill of Rights are. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you.
That's why my dad doesn't want to get his citizenship.
But most people can't tell you what the Bill of Rights are.
I feel like
bro,
but so why do we have to
nationalize,
study?
you
Why
have
do we
to.
have to study? Why do we have to study this to get to become a citizen?
You have to learn like X amount of the language. You have to know certain percentage of the law of the land. You have to be able to do a lot of different shit to get nationalization in this country.
Well, but also to be fair, I feel like you do learn it. Well, like even as an American, you learn it through school. Whether it's people like retain the knowledge. I learned about the Bill of dog.
Sure, you learn about the Bill of Rights. I'm just a bill. Yes, no. I'm only a bill.
Do I retain that throughout my entire life?
On top of Capitol Hill. No. You see, you don't know about that shit. You don't know. What was that shit called? School of Rock? No. What the fuck?
No.
Was it School of Rock? It was School of Rock.
Was it School of Rock?
What was that shit?
School of Rock. No. Somebody answer it in the chat.
Yeah, somebody, please. No,
I know Crystal Waters is about to come through because she showed me this shit. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm just a bill. Yeah, I'm only a
School of
bill.
Rock.
It was School of Rock. It had to be School of Rock, bro.
Crystal Waters says, to be fair, Africa is far, but AA is African American is their own subculture.
What? What the fuck does that even mean?
See, but then okay.
No. Here we go. No. I'm not getting into this tonight.
All of it's a fucking subculture. When you talk about the African American experience here in America, that is not only a sub experience.
We can just move fast.
No. I'm gonna address this.
No, because I'm really gonna get canceled now, bro.
I'm gonna address this.
I'm really gonna fucking get canceled.
No, don't do it.
I'm gonna address this.
I can say whatever I want to say because my son is black. I'm just saying.
Yeah, my son is part black, right? And he is also part Native American, right? And I will say from the Native American experience, right? I won't speak on nobody else's fucking experience, right? We have our own
somebody to
subculture.
post this fucking the movie that we're talking
Crystal
about.
Waters, come in clutch. Where does that come from? You know.
Come in clutch, you know.
I know you know.
Come in clutch, I know.
I'm about to just
I know
fucking
she knows.
Google this.
Jordan says it's School of Rock.
You know who? I think it's School of Rock.
I think it is School of Rock.
School of Rock. Yeah, she already.
I fucking knew it, baby. I'm
You're right.
fucking good at this shit.
Wow. Jack Black.
Bro.
No,
No.
you did not just say
Yeah,
Jack
it's not
Black.
it's not the Jack Black
Oh
one.
my
not-
god, I can't believe you just said that. Oh
It's not
my
it's not the Jack Black
God.
one, people. No.
Oh my god,
sorry,
I can't believe you just
I'll
said
stick to
that.
Marvel movies. I'm sorry.
But it's the
You
only
just-
it's the only name that's coming to mind right now, School of
Oh.
Rock. It's gotta
I
be
mean,
like
It had to have been School of Rock.
I'll just stick to Marvel movies. Apologies. Sorry.
I can't believe you said Jack Black, bro. This was
What is
like fucking 20, 40 years before that Jack Black movie came out.
What is that? What is that movie called?
It was so what it was is it was like all these little collections of songs about the country that they
Oh,
put
it's called
together.
Schoolhouse Rock.
Schoolhouse Rock.
Rock.
Wait, so School of Rock is
School of Rock is Jack Black.
okay.
Yes. But that was not what we were thinking about. You knew.
I'm the
Okay,
biggest
there was
fucking hard on right
one. Show me. Oh, let me
Okay,
see.
I'm sorry. I was just excited that I got the fucking thing right, bro. I don't get movies right. I never get movies right. People clown on me. Okay.
Hey, nah, but I did wanna bring up this as far as like what are teachers doing and shit.
Thank
Like,
God we got away from the last topic because I was getting nervous. Though.
Why would you even bring up, bro?
No, I'm just saying. Thank God. Let's go.
Oh, remember.
Teachers.
Keep it pushing.
Because I will get canceled tonight.
Okay, well, we'll keep it.
Bro, people, dude, we're training.
Where's the Bud Light?
I'm fucking working on it, dude.
Look at these, like regretting doing this with us now.
Bro, it's all fun and fucking games, man. And a lot of
What is this words, bro? Words don't hurt people, okay?
I don't know, bro. I'm getting real uncomfortable. Okay.
we got to remember, man. These are just all like I'm high as hell, like you know, and we're just talking, bro. Like, you know what? I have a fucking paper, and I want to send it to you guys. I've been meaning to send it to you guys, but it's my homegirl's like a tarot card reader, and we did some affirmations over the podcast. She's like, hey, I'm gonna do a reading for your podcast. Boom, 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 and she gave me these affirmations to like follow for when I do it. And so like I used to have sticky notes on my shit, like it was everywhere. But I wanna send them to you guys. But anywho, I wanted to bring this up because I feel like there's less tribalism outside of the classroom, right? Like I feel like us as Americans, at least, I can only speak on the American experience. I don't know how they do it over there.
Where's over there?
Anywhere across the border, up north, across the pond. I don't know. Over there, I don't know. Here, I know, right? And I get really worried because it's like Elijah, like, he's going through school now. You know what I mean? Like he's going through school, and like you look at Florida where they're having this battle with the school system. Here in California, we're having a crazy battle with the school systems. And it's just kind of like, yo, fam, like teachers are supposed to be teaching. Like that should be their main focus. Like you have kids doing active shooter drills, right? Like y'all are worried about these fools in a Pledge of Allegiance or this and that. Like, homie, just say the Pledge of a fucking Allegiance, right? Like, why are we doing a shooter drill? And why is my kid reading a fucking book about some wild shit? Like in 9th grade, 10th grade, like that's not something he should be reading in class. This is not productive. Like, you know what I mean? How about we teach him about taxes?
Did you read Animal Farm in high school?
No, but we watched the movie. I might have read it, or I
It's
was
a
supposed
movie?
to read it. There is a movie.
D,
There is
did
a
you D? Hold on, I have a question because I think our mandated school books were similar. What books did you have to read in high school?
Oh, bro, I don't even remember.
Did you have to read books though?
Yeah. We had like assigned things.
To Kill a Mockingbird?
No. Well, because I went to school in Texas. So I think
Okay.
they're different.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I think state to state they're different mandated readings.
Yeah. Yeah. Everywhere has a.
What if he watched Animal Farm?
Hmm?
Did you watch To Kill a Mockingbird? Hutch?
No, I didn't. We were supposed to read that book too, and I think I spark noted it.
Okay, so so it's not different. I'm just asking what books you were mandated to read in high school.
I will tell you this, dude.
I forgot one of the biggest books that I remember reading. What was that one where the dude had a brother who he had to kill at the end, and I think the brother was like kind of slow, but the brother had like killed somebody, and that's why I remember like Edgar Allan Poe and stuff like that. Like, that was another reading.
Yeah.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Keep going.
No, I just
played a role in what I was gonna say, but it doesn't matter now because none of us read the same books. But go ahead.
Okay.
no, I just think I think some of this would like, I think some of this starting in the schools, right? If we can get some uniformity, right? Like, why are we all reading different books if we're all supposed to have the same curriculum? You know what I mean? Like, bro, like when I first transferred to Cali, I had so many credits already. I could have graduated early. Like hella early, and I was super confused. I was like, wait, how's that possible? Like, I'm in the same grade, I've taken a bunch of the same classes, how do I have more credits than these guys? You know what I mean? If we're all doing the same fucking thing, why is it that in California we have a certain requirement to get into the UCs in CSUs, but not the same in Texas, not the same in Oregon or Washington? Like, why is there different requirements for these kids? You know what I mean? Why is it that in certain schools and I get it. I do get where
I'm about to delve into a whole thing because it does that has to do with ethnicity.
But why? Why does that have anything to do at the school level?
I want to know the same thing.
So like earlier, because
I mean, those are two different subjects though. Because are we talking about like why are our kids getting ready for school shootings and not learning more curriculum, or why is our curriculum different? Like, what is that you want to talk about?
All of that. Why are we even putting money?
Those are two different things.
Like, well, we're putting focuses on these teachers being trained to handle a school fucking shooting, right? You want to know how to solve that fucking problem, right? More mental health care,
gun control,
a little bit of gun control, right? And put some fucking cops at the goddamn gates of the fucking school, bro. The football team don't need new equipment. They don't need fucking new equipment, bro. They got new equipment last year. The baseball team don't need new shit.
These are going to be touchy subjects. I already know it, so I'll let D go first.
But hold on, because the real bottom dollar is like, you know, we're having these focuses on these different shit, right? And so, and you guys said it, and it's kind of how like I wanted to tie back into the fucking beginning question. It was like, do teachers teach? Do teachers teach, or are they teaching our kids about morals and values and all this other shit? You know what I mean? Earlier, you guys said it, right? There's a reason why there's a hyphenation on these Scantrons when we're checking off the boxes for our SATs and all that shit, right? It helps the school get money. Point blank, period. It helps the school get fucking money, right? So are we putting more focus? Are we putting more focus in the schools for just what we can get from them, like the students, right? Like, oh, if we have a certain representation of this, we can get more money. And if our kids are doing this, we can get more money. And if we, you know, boom, 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 boom. Or are we more worried about our teachers teaching? You know what I mean? Like, where do we solve this riddle? Hold on, I'm gonna pour a little bit more coffee. But y'all chew on
that. It seems like a pretty. The question
kind of broad, huh?
Pretty broad, yeah. The question became more broad. When he like gave a lot of,
so it's like so many different subjects, like school shootings, ethnicities. Are we learning morals and values at school, or are the teachers there to teach?
Yeah,
I feel like this should be pinpointed because those are like four different subjects.
I think we should just clarify a little bit more of like what
I think
specific, because they are I guess they're all generally linked in the sense of like what are the criteria of what teachers are able to and capable and should be doing, well, but they're all so like divided and so specific that it's hard. Different answers. So we'll ask. What's up?
What do we got?
So D and I actually agreed on something.
What happened?
Let's go for once.
We think your question is a little broad. I think that I love my fur baby.
I was literally reading that same shit. Here's your mug.
Oh, I thought it was in the chat. Oh yeah, I do. I do.
So okay, so you started with school shootings.
Mm-hmm.
Then you went to ethnicity and race.
Mm-hmm.
Then you went to
Like morals and
values and what teachers should be teaching.
And then it was also like, but it was also incentives on what the schools get out of whether it be money incentives or what the
So
So
in
it's
the
just like-
schools, so let's take the schools and teachers as one thing, right?
Yeah, but I think those are 4 different topics though. I think you should narrow it down to one topic that you actually want to discuss because I feel like all 4 of those things are different topics on their own.
of their own accord. Yeah, I agree.
So, but that's
I can see how they tie into each other.
That's what I'm on. So as all those things, right? We got all these things that are going on, right? So I think the real thing that I'm trying to punch away is as us as people who are already outside the school system, right? Do we put more focus? Should we put more focus on just making sure the kids are getting taught a curriculum, right? Or should we put more focus on these things that are, yes, they're important. They're important to address, right? These are, social issues and things that are happening on a day-to-day basis. Like, where do we start? Because earlier, I think it was Damien that said it. It's like teachers are the ones that are like pushing the youth. They're building the foundation of our country.
Well, okay, so here's my question to you. Because I've already argued with Damien tonight. So my question to you would be, you want teachers to teach, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, can you give me, so you typically take 6 to 7 courses in high school. And I'm assuming we're talking about middle to high school, right? Middle school, you take 5 courses. High school, you take 6 to 7. So can you give me the 5 main courses that you would want your student, your child to learn in school? Or the 5 core that you believe are mandatory to be learning in school? And then I'll continue with my question after you give me the 5. I'm setting you up right now.
So I think between junior and senior year, I'll take, right? Like, because to think of over 12 years, I think there's a lot of different things that should be studied. Right?
No. I'm only talking about junior high school and high school. Like,
So,
what are the core things that you should learn?
You should be able to have a filled understanding of your science, right? Things, why are there clouds in the fucking sky and the sun rays? Some basic science knowledge, right?
Okay.
Math, basic math you should have down, right? English, right? You should be able to read and write legibly, right? After that, bro, nothing else really fucking matters.
What about history?
Legibly is fucking important because some motherfuckers do not know how to fucking write. Jesus.
What about history?
The thing is about history is you can learn history without having a history class, as long as you know how to read. Go pick up a history book and read it.
Okay, but
right?
But what about those that don't have the drive to learn more after they've learned how to read?
It's that the problem is with that is that it's going to be trained, right? Through reading. It's going to be trained like in this English class, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're reading there, right? So after that, everything else that you have left is nothing but to read. Like, oh, how am I going to learn about fucking I don't know how to build this fucking desk or build this fucking thing. You got to read the instruction manual. Like, you know what I mean? Reading. So eventually they're going to stumble across a fucking book that they read, bro. Like it's
Yeah, but okay,
it's
so
inevitable. I think is the thing
but
I'm trying to
but
get at.
but okay, so it's kind of contradictory what you're saying, only because earlier in the segment you were talking about how we should learn about the history of our nation
Where you came from.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and where we came from. So I
Mhm.
believe history, I believe in that sense, is something that we should learn in school.
And yeah, in a
Because you were very
agree.
American. We have to
Mhm.
get back to America in school and this and the other. So why not learn about American history in school?
So if you gave me my 3, that would probably be my 5th one, right? So I gave
Well,
you
you
my
have
3
you
main.
had,
My
you
3
had
main. My
that was
3 main.
4. That would have been 4. You have one left.
That would be number 5. Would be some kind of
You have one left.
American histories.
You said science, math.
So
Science, math, English, and now history. You have one left.
I think in order of importance, right? It would be like your literature, being able to read and write,
Okay.
right? Math, science, right? This one's hard because it's like this one would have to be some kind of work function. It would have to be some kind of work function class,
Like
right?
shop,
Workshop, or maybe like a
3D design,
dude.
That's
auto
crazy.
shop.
You said and I agreed with you on this. I think people should come out of high school knowing the economics really, really well. Well,
Mhm.
like pretty well. Not like so you don't have to be like college major super economics, but like really well. I feel like nobody knows tax. I don't know taxes.
So I think if there's 5 required, right? If you take 7 classes, if you have to take 7 classes,
Well, I said 6 is normally required in high school. That's why I asked what your main 5, which are the main 5 that you come from in middle school, which are exactly what Kelly said: math, science, history, language, and PE.
yeah, I just
think it
don't.
also should be money.
Well,
Yeah,
I think economics should be something that you learn in high school and it's mandatory.
I think
mandatory.
me too.
Because I took English for business in high school, and I feel like that helped me a lot. Like learning checks and balances, debits and credits, learning, all that type of stuff. I learned that in English for business. We even learned like how courthouses work, and there was a plaintiff and a defendant. We had an actual judge come in. We had to work on a fake case. Like I feel like that was great for going to court for all my graffiti when I got older. But like that was like I feel like those are very, very valuable courses. But I think the main courses is exactly that: math, science, history, language, which is English, and physical education.
I think physical education, to be fair, is really important. I took weight training and I've used that going to the gym and stuff like that. I know more or less what I'm doing. I know kind of basics.
Well, even besides that, I mean, you need to be out and active and doing something and taking care of your body because, like that is good for your mental.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See, but I do think some kind of economics should be required, but I don't think that is just to think 6th through 12th grade. How do I offer this 6 different ways? You know what I mean? So there should be a year where you learn how to do your taxes. There should be a year where you learn how a credit card works. There should
What do you mean 6 different ways?
So think so from 6 to 12, right?
Mhm.
6 to 12, 6 solid years, right? You can skip a year maybe in between, whatever, right? So how do we teach economics to these children 6 different ways?
Well, that's not, no, I don't. That's why I said I don't believe economics should be taught in one. I don't believe economics should be taught in middle school.
I do.
2, I believe
high school thing.
I believe economics should be taught within the last 2 years of high school before you become an adult.
Me too.
But I do also agree that one of the 6 or 7 that you learn in high school is some type of trade, whether it be auto shop or whether it be like wood shop, whether it be photography, 3D design, something along those lines. I mean, my elective was dance when I was in high school, and that was another form of physical education. Yeah. But I believe that you should learn some type of trade while you're in school, and a lot of it is auto shop, and they actually took that out of a lot of schools.
Well, see, now this is the problem, and this is something that I hope that they can address too, like at the school level, is in these dance classes, they need to be teaching these kids more than just a fucking step. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, teach these kids what it is to do stage production, right?
Well, that's how my dance was. We learned contemporary, we learned jazz, we learned hip hop, and we learned stage work.
Yeah. So whole ass stage work, bro. You need to be able to know how to set up lights. Like if there's a computer system that is controlling these fucking lights right now, you need to be able to set that up. You need to be able to set your fucking cameras, edit the footage, overlay this fucking sound. Dude, people don't even fucking get it, bro. Like artists come out with fucking songs and they only have a dirty version. They don't have a clean one. They don't have a radio version. They don't have a radio dirty. They don't have a radio clean. They don't have an acapella version. They don't have the instrumental. Bro, when you lay down a fucking track, you should have at least 10 different fucking versions, bro. When I
So
make
go ahead.
Bro, like when I make choreo, I make like 6 different versions of this shit. I make this shit for me. I make this shit for a small group. I make this shit for a medium group. I make shit for a large group. I make this shit for an all boys group, an all girls group. Teens, little kids, big stage, small stage. I like in my brain, it's all there, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
So
And
those are the courses that I believe that we should take, and I think most of the courses that the three of us agree on that we should take are what is mandatory in school. But now, when you bring up curriculum, when you bring up curriculum, do you believe that as a nation, the curriculum should be the same for every high school and every middle school, or do you believe that it should be how it is now on a state to state case based off of the jobs in that state, based off the colleges in that state, based off the ethnicities in that state? What do you like? Do you believe that the curriculum should be the same nationwide, or do you believe that it should be a state by state case?
I don't think that there's a disparity inside of the use, like the university and college levels. I don't think that there's a disparity that there once was, right? As far as like an ethnic level. So we got to get out of that thought train, right? Because there's been programs already in place to help different ethnic groups get into school, right?
Well, they still exist,
Yeah, there's and a lot of them still exist already,
and it's unfair.
It's a whole another can of worms. But so we got to get out of that famine idea when it comes to the education and what should be taught and how and where it's taught. I do believe in state rights. I'm a huge state right advocate, and I don't want the federals to be able to control what my child learns.
But the only reason I asked this is because, again, you said earlier when you moved here to California,
I was confused, bro.
you had more credits than what
Mhm,
you would have had, and you would have been able to graduate early. So, do you
mhm.
believe it was based off of the curriculum that you learned our curriculum faster, or do you think it was based off the fact that the curriculums are different and you learn different things than what we've learned here?
I think
Because there are some things that we learn, especially like in the elementary school stage, where like if you're born here in California, we learn about the missions and all this stuff, and we have to do like school projects, and we go to Balboa Park, and we go to Old Town, and we do all that shit. Whereas in like you being in a different state, you learn different shit there in that state. You know what I mean?
see, and I think that's a part of curriculum that makes it weird. Is I think that you should learn about the state you're living in, right? As far as your American history, and see that's why like history. I don't want to get it confused between history and social studies, right? Because those are two different topics. You know what I mean? And I do think that there should be a year of social studies done in America, but I think history it takes precedent. You know what I mean? Like history, not a social study, but a history.
What do you
Uh,
believe is the biggest difference between social study and history?
because history is 100% fact, and a social study is though that they are lined in facts, they are also littered by opinion. You get what I'm saying?
Well,
Like
I think that the opinion would be the hypothesis to what they were studying, and the fact is the numbers behind what those studies were.
oh no, I would say it like this, right? So like let's take the civil rights movement. It's a fact that it happened, and it's a fact that the civil rights movement brought certain change to our country, which makes that American history. But the thing that makes it a social study is was it right? because there's people to this day that would disagree.
But
that
also, isn't like the whole I've heard this argument before of like, oh, we have to be careful on who we hear our history from because of who's telling it. Isn't there like an inherent bias on who writes and tells the stories?
My whole life, I was taught that Thanksgiving was a thing. You know what I mean?
Thanksgiving is a thing, pimp.
No, it's not.
True, it kind of is.
It's definitely
a day.
Oh, it's definitely a day, but Thanksgiving.
What do you mean it's not a thing? Because
it's
that's
not a thing.
What do you? Like
Thanksgiving-
pilgrims and like they all sat in like a thing.
Yeah, we sat
No,
down.
yeah.
And had a
Do
fucking
you want to know? Do you want to know where Thanksgiving actually came from? D?
Was it like
Jesus.
Abraham Lincoln?
Abraham Lincoln created Thanksgiving because it happened after he signed the Emancipation Proclamation,
Mhm.
and he believed that Thanksgiving would be a day for everybody to come together as a nation
Give thanks.
and give thanks to the country that we live in.
You know,
That's where Thanksgiving came from. It didn't come from pilgrims and fucking Native Americans sitting together and fucking
But
eating
that's what
together.
we're taught. But that's what we're taught. That's what we're taught.
It came from Abraham Lincoln after he signed the Emancipation Proclamation. He decided to make a day that we would all sit down and give thanks for the country and for being unified and in unison. That's where Thanksgiving came from.
Did you know the Emancipation Proclamation did not free any natives?
Were native slaves at that time?
Fuck yeah, we were, bro. Fuck yeah.
I wasn't aware.
Fuck yeah, bro.
But I know that like the big thing was like like black.
We were the first.
That's where it came from.
We were the first slaves. They enslaved us first, and then they brought their fucking buddies over here.
And then it was Mexico. But Thanksgiving is definitely a day, and that's why it's a day. Wait. So hold on, real quick. Do you not celebrate Thanksgiving because of what the culture behind it is, where it's fucking Indians and pilgrims sitting down together, or was it because you believe that the natives were still enslaved at that time? Hurry and answer.
I just don't celebrate Thanksgiving.
Oh, you don't at all?
No.
Like you don't? I don't know.
I mean, I'll get with my family and we'll all like give thanks. Oh, I'm thankful for this. Oh, I'm thankful for that. And it's like, oh, Thanksgiving, we eat.
But that sounds like you think that's what everybody. At least that's what I do. I don't know. The food is different for different people and whatever, but it's all kind of things. Thanksgiving, day to give thanks. I don't think it's even like religious or. Yeah, it's not like a big.
Bro, and you guys got to remember for the past like, what?
Unless you're Mormon, I don't think Mormons celebrate almost anything. Wait, is it Mormon? Jehovah's Witness. Sorry. Yes, you're right. Sorry.
For like 7 years, I've been out here pretty much by myself. And so Thanksgivings, I just sit at the house. Christmases, I sit at the crib, bro. Like I'm posted up. Like
That's interesting that you don't celebrate Thanksgiving being as patriotic as you are. It's a patriotic holiday.
4th of July. I'll give it up for 4th of July. That's about it, bro. That's about it. President's Day, I'm like, I can recognize President's Day.
Thank God.
Labor Day?
Labor Day, yeah. Well, I'm a laborer, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So,
Memorial Day,
Veterans Day, like, but it's not something like I'm getting up and I'm getting after it. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. So why not Thanksgiving then?
Because it's it is just something that when I learned the truth of that, I questioned all history, bro. I questioned everything I read about history.
But what does that have to do with the holiday then?
Okay, so like Damien's saying, right? Like you got to be careful with the history that people are telling you. You get what I'm saying? So the holiday itself was taught to me that, oh, Native Americans and Pilgrims got together and they had this big old feast. No, the fuck it wasn't. Matter of fact, these motherfuckers killed us, cuz like they killed us, bro. Like they were killing us. And so no, I'm not going to celebrate that day. Right? Like, yes, I will get together with my family and I'll
once you learn the truth, wouldn't that give you more of a reason to celebrate it?
No.
Why?
Absolutely not.
Why not? I feel like learning that there was a bunch of people freed and allowed to have their freedoms of this country, and us celebrating that, wouldn't that
did nothing for my
I feel like you can be like.
But now you're talking about your people, but your people are the American people. You said that earlier.
But I
Mhm.
feel like you can be like when you learn about.
Hold on.
Mhm.
But you said that you're American.
Mhm.
It's an American holiday.
Mhm.
So why would you
what?
not
So
celebrate?
what? I got to be a yes man?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
Okay, so then I don't do Thanksgiving.
I know but I'm just trying to figure out why is my thing.
Okay, so check it out. Abraham Lincoln did a great thing, right, for these slaves, but he did
Okay.
nothing for my people, right? So things for my people came later and later and later, which is fine, right?
But your people are American.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait,
Absolutely. But just like
sorry.
I'm saying, all these decisions, he may have made this decision that affected these people, which is great for them. But you're not going to get me to stand up and clap.
But it ultimately affected the freedom of all slaves.
Uh,
How did it not?
well,
I'm gonna have
first
to disagree with you on that one.
first it started off with that they were free, but they were only what was it? Like they were 1/3 of a person, right?
But they were also given reparation.
there was like some reparations and stuff that also came tied with certain.
I'm not saying
things.
that made everything okay. By the way, for Damien's chat, who I know is like
Get riled up. Everybody.
listens to fucking every little thing that we say. I'm not saying that the reparations made it okay, and the third of a man only counted for their
exactly what
vote.
you fucking said. Okay.
The third of a man only counted for
Get
their
fucking
vote.
angry.
a
Everybody.
lot of Native Americans, from what I've read, a lot of Native Americans fought for the Confederacy.
All I'm saying is, but you brought up the third of a man. The third of a man only counted for the vote. It didn't count in public.
And it only applied to African Americans. It did not apply to the Native.
But what did apply to natives?
Nothing.
Were they zero?
Nothing.
Could they not vote?
Nothing at that time applied to us. The Confederacy, oh my God, the Confederacy was promising us our land back. The Southeastern natives, right, in particular, they were saying, hey, like you fight with us, you guys will be able to get certain parts of your land back. Boom, 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 boom. Right.
Okay.
So, something that the Union did for his people didn't affect my people the same way. You get what I'm saying? He's looking at these natives.
But my argument to you is you keep saying my people, but you earlier for like a whole hour you were talking about how your people are the American people.
I'm an American. I'm an American through and through, right? Because these laws, the Union's laws, protect me and my rights, right?
But those Union laws only protected you after the Emancipation Proclamation.
It was still long after that. It was still.
It wasn't that long. It wasn't that long after that,
bro. It was long after that. It was long after that.
I'm gonna fact check this, and we'll
it was long after that because Grandpa even told me a story. Grandpa told me a story that his uncle was released from slavery.
Okay. I'm gonna fact check. I'm gonna fact check this. I might even call you to chat to you about this.
Fuck with me.
In the chat said, do you necessarily have to be behind everything your country stands for to be patriotic? I guess
no, and that's why I don't fuck with Thanksgiving. Yeah. That Emancipation Proclamation did nothing for me or the side that my state was fighting on.
Well, the Emancipation Proclamation did nothing for any of us listening to this or standing here today.
Mm-hmm. And it really didn't free anybody. Like he just said they're free, but it didn't free anybody.
Well, it started that there was no more trades of slaves. That was the initial start.
He still had to win the war.
There was no more trade of slaves, though. That's the thing. Is slaves could no longer be sold.
Yeah.
That was how it started. Yeah. So the people who were in transition of being sold were freed. They were given reparations. Then their family when they were freed, were given reparations after that. And the third of a man, which a lot of people are confused by that, it was only considered that point for voting. But they were still given the right to vote.
Every three freed men was considered one freeborn man.
Correct. Per vote. Only for the voting, though. Anything else, they were still a man. They were still considered a man. Although, you were free, but there were still, transitions that were happening up until, civil rights in the 60s and things of that nature. But, it was progressive.
Mm-hmm.
It was progressive. That's what I mean. We can look at it in a bad way all we want. We could be like, oh, well, they were only a third and this and that. But they were given the right to vote, which is progressive. They were freed, progressive. Reparations, progressive. Not saying that it made everything okay, but it was progressive, and that's and now we are to where we are now. You know, like nobody.
I
treats
want to
really
say
something
that I
and
want to say
becomes them.
natives. I want to say natives didn't receive the full right to vote until the late 1890s, or even as late as the early 1900s.
Okay, I'm gonna fact check this, and
So
we're
I,
gonna
I,
talk
I would
about this.
want to say maybe between 50 to 60 years before natives received the full right to vote. Right.
Because the Emancipation Proclamation was signed when?
Ooh, that was
Can somebody?
18 1880 and 1920, I believe.
Well, I know the
For
Declaration.
natives gaining the right to vote. You see, I want to say it was 1916. I want to say it was 19 fucking. For some
Wait,
reason that number's
what's the
standing.
question? What's the question?
When was the Emancipation Proclamation signed? It was after 1880. I know that for a fact. No, I'm
Signed
lying.
in 1863.
1863.
Mhm.
Okay.
President Lincoln
And then
issued
the
the Emancipation Proclamation.
okay, so
on
the
January 1st.
so even then, when the Declaration of Independence was signed, black men were considered in that like people of color were considered in the Declaration of Independence.
Yes, because some men even earned their freedom. Because not only blacks were slaves at that time as well. People got to remember that.
1924 is what I'm getting. Was when the Emancipation Proclamation was signed.
1924. There's no fucking way.
Native Americans were not universally granted U.S. citizenship and the right to vote until 1924. Even after the Indian Citizenship Act was passed, states still barred Native Americans
It's
from
like
voting
20
for
years
decades.
after the Emancipation Proclamation.
Interesting.
Was beginning. Right.
Wow.
So where does that begin? Where do
The
we? What is
Indian Citizenship Act? Interesting.
1924 gave citizenship to natives. So 1924.
No, that was 60 years. That was 60 years after the Declaration of Independence was signed.
Fuck with me, bro. Like I'm just saying. Like I'm
Wow.
just saying. That's why history to me is to an extent. It's like, what are we teaching history wise? You get what I'm saying? History
So
is nothing.
what should be the curriculum? Wait, hold on. What did D ask something earlier from his chat? What did you ask? Do you have to believe in everything that your country does in order to be patriotic? No, you don't.
No. That's why I don't fuck with things. I mean, yeah, sure, the Emancipation Proclamation. Yeah, everybody.
I was gonna say I think it was an argument for Butch to be like, why? I mean, even if he is,
I think it's because I said
through.
something to him. Yeah, I said like I thought you were American. I thought you were patriotic. Why don't you celebrate Thanksgiving? Not saying that I shit on you because you don't celebrate Thanksgiving. It was just that was actually kind of shocking to me that you don't celebrate that. Based off of the conversation that we were having tonight, it's shocking to me that you don't celebrate Thanksgiving. But I understand why you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, and we've been given some facts, so I see why.
Yeah.
But
bro, and people be trying to talk to me about some like Native American shit, bro. And it's like, dog, there's a lot of like really dark secrets, bro, like that they do not teach you in the history books. That's why I think history and social studies, there's two different things going on there.
Okay, so based off a curriculum, what do you believe that we should learn in history? Not social studies. What do you believe that we should learn in history? D, you want to take a crack at this?
What should we learn in history? The question is, what should we learn in history, right?
Yeah, because based off of what Putch is saying, is that there's a bias in what we learn in history based off of what the schools teach us, right? Like the whole Thanksgiving joint. What do you believe should be the basis of what we learn? Because we take history for at least 6 years, right?
This is a good question. I like this question because it's a big issue in Florida right now.
We take history for at least 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Some would say even longer than that because in elementary school we learn some type of history.
Mm-hmm.
So what are the bases of what we should learn in history?
I mean, ideally, it would be everything, I guess, encompassing. It's just really hard because I feel like in order to remove a lot of bias, you don't go into so many different details on different groups of people and how they were affected, because I feel like through and through you want to get to the gist of all of history and all of at least American history, because then you get into the world of what happened.
Well, just keep going. I like how you sound, Daddy.
Oh shit. I think inherently you'd have to look at like the curriculum and be like, okay, where we bias, where can we highlight, why do we highlight what we do? It's like you would need to super deep dive, and even then there is just bias everywhere. So I think regardless it's going to be bias, right? But I guess try to account for as much as you can.
Well, can you give me an example of what you mean by learning bias history?
I feel like the fact that we didn't know, about Native American history in that sense, of how it didn't even affect them in that sense. There's certain groups of people that we look at specifically for one reason or another, because I guess they were more influential in our history. There's just so much to learn and digest and to understand everything that happened within history. And there's so many things that were never recorded and can never be recorded. And
Technically everything is history, right?
yeah, but I mean, like recorded history in the sense that like we can look to something that's there that we could be like, oh shit, this is how it kind of happened, because we have journals from XYZ and we have movies and films from more recent history, but just stuff like that. I don't know. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. Let's talk about Andrew Jackson. But you don't know.
$20 bill, ain't he?
Yeah, he was the president that ordered the Trail of Tears. So he was the one that ordered the removal of the Cherokee Nation from the Appalachians of North Carolina and forced them to relocate to Oklahoma. And along that walk, I mean, bro, people were dying.
Oh, I played this game in high school, Oregon Trail.
It's damn near the same fucking thing, bro. But it's called the Trail of Tears. It's called the Trail of Tears. And we actually get a part of our state nickname, the Tar Heel Nation. Out there, when you walk long enough, bro, you will build a little film of tar on your feet. And so they would call them Tar Heels. Watch the Tar Heels as they're walking, as they were making their march. Watch the Tar Heels.
That's crazy.
Funny enough, in the Battle of New Orleans in the War of 1812, Andrew Jackson was saved by a Seminole man. He was injured in battle, and he was saved by I want to say he was Seminole, by a Seminole man. But they don't teach you that.
So do you think so? Wait, so your basis should be that we learn more about Native history?
No, I think that history, right, in comparison to a social studies, they are the same thing. One has.
No, we're taking social studies out. We're taking social studies out.
I want to say just sorry, real quick. I think you should learn about like wherever you're learning history, that country, their history should be what you learn. Right, because you should learn where your country came from and all that stuff. I do think, like, obviously, if you want to get way into the nitty gritty, there should be places, and I think for the most part, they could be better. There are classes individually for those really deep nitty gritty when you want to get into specific.
Those are university classes
areas. Yeah,
so I was gonna say that's when you get to a collegiate state. Like,
yeah, you know what I mean.
And I think that's unfortunate. I think there should be, like, especially if you're, although. I guess that ties back to, like, if you're identifying with a certain sort of culture where you came from so much, do you lose like the American history aspect? Do you lose your like?
Well, why is it unfortunate that comes from a collegiate standpoint?
Because I think you should be able to learn it earlier on. What if you decide not to go to college? Does that mean
and then you miss out? Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is, right? Like, so you can go to college without the intent for a degree. So you can literally attend college just for those classes.
You could, but
hey, and I didn't go to college for any of this knowledge either, though.
I was gonna say I really appreciate that you're like, it seems like super well versed and like read in a lot of things.
Thank you.
Historically, yeah, it's sick.
Thank you.
Really cool to see,
dude. I wanted to be a social studies teacher. Funny enough, at one point in my life, I loved history so much I wanted to be a social studies teacher. But I learned more and more that like history is littered with the bias of the people of the time, right? And that's where, and so Damien, when you were talking about like you got to remove some of the bias from history, that's a big argument that's happening in Florida right now. You know what I mean? Because Florida is wanting the history curriculum to look a certain way. And some people think that they're trying to remove Black history. And he's saying that he's fighting against the CRT. So I think,
Race theory.
yeah, critical race theory. So
Okay, well, what's your thought on that?
so I think some of those conversations should be in the collegiate level, right? Because young people at 16, 17, 18, in high school, it's like, bro, it's hard to allow them to not only learn about this information, because how are they digesting it? That's
Well,
my
okay,
question.
hold on. So let me just make sure I have this correct. Because critical race theory is the teaching that there was or is some type of um, political standpoint where uh, different races learn different things based off where they live, and that there is some type of um, what do they call it? Systematic oppression, right? That's what critical race theory is, right?
Pretty much from what I gained from it, critical race theory is this idea, and I don't want to speak disparagingly of it enough, because I don't know of it well enough, but it's this idea that race plays a major factor in everything inside our country, everything from politics, jobs,
Police brutality, all that shit.
incarceration, blah 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 blah. And the list goes on. Some of it I can agree with, some of it, that is a different discussion.
And I definitely don't think that that's something that should be taught in school,
Uh,
personally.
I think that
Oh, and here's why. Here's why I say this. Here's why I say that it shouldn't be taught in school. It continues to create division.
yes. Well,
I mean, and if you say that you were against division, like you were saying earlier, with the Mexican American, African American, all that stuff, then I would say that you would disagree with critical race theory being taught in school as well. Personally, that's what I would do. That's what I would believe.
I am going to try to say this as eloquently as I can, because this is it. I haven't been able to put it into the proper.
Wait, hold on, time out. Did you look up what critical race theory was?
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys hit it pretty fair. Critical race theory is the academic and legal framework that denotes that systematic racism is a part of American society, from education and housing to employment and healthcare. Critical race theory recognizes that racism is more than the result of an individual bias and prejudice. Sorry,
bullshit. It's bullshit.
It's hard for me. It's hard for me to agree. To
I
that.
think I understand.
It's hard for you to agree with me that it's bullshit. Okay, well, okay. So here's where I'll go with this. Okay, personally, I think critical race theory is bullshit. I don't think systematic oppression exists currently today. Do I think that it once existed? Absolutely. With redlining and the same reason why we check our boxes at schools for funding and things of that nature. Same reasons that people that are in higher echelon places that live in hidden hills and Calabasas, their schools are better than the ones that are in Oxnard. I do believe that that's a thing. I don't believe that it has anything to do with race. I think it has to do more with class.
Economics.
It's economics. Now, people believe that it still has to do with race because of the economy and where certain races are based off of that. Now, the reason that certain races are in the places that where they currently are right now is because those things did exist once in the future, and minorities did get the lower end of the stick. But I don't believe that those systematic oppression bullshit, like all that shit, I don't believe that it currently still exists in today's day and age. You laughing at Push?
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because they were like systematically. It just doesn't. He's like,
I don't believe it exists. I don't believe it exists, and I don't think that it should be taught in school.
This is where I get to tell you you're wrong. This is where I get to tell you you're wrong.
Ray, real quick,
we get to argue.
I want to understand this correctly, right? Because in the definition, it says that the racism isn't necessarily, it's not like an individual issue when it comes to a systematic framework, right? It's because individuals work within a framework and can be racist. The framework itself can be racist. Is that? Right. Am I understanding that? Okay.
Yes.
I just want to make sure I understood that.
So, blood quantums. Blood quantum testing for Native Americans is systematically oppressing our people. It is not only systematically oppressing our people, but it is robbing us blind due to fucking war treaties. And I'll explain.
Okay.
So, federally recognized tribes, you have to be able to prove a certain lineage. And that
Oh.
lineage is your blood quantum.
Mhm.
That's where you get, are you half Native American? Are you full? Are you this? Are you that? Hold on, I got somebody calling me.
That was the United States and define America.
And so with these blood quantums, what happens is once enrollment hits a certain like number, you get what I'm saying? They lose their federally recognition, their federal recognition. That means the war treaty is no longer valid because the tribe doesn't exist. What do you think is going to happen to those casinos?
I think it plays more than just that, though. I don't think it just plays in the war treaty itself or the land. I think it also is the reparations that natives get based off their lineage.
There is no reparations.
There are reparations.
There is no reparation.
So why do natives get paid based off the land that they live on?
Because we have casinos or we have oil.
Not here. Not in California.
Yeah, I promise you.
So why do these kids in Verona and why do these kids in Sequan and why do these kids in fucking Viejas, all these
check their income.
Check their income. I have checked their income. They get paid by the government.
No, I'm saying the tribe itself. The tribe itself, inside their treaties, inside certain things.
I'm not talking about what the tribe gets paid. I'm talking about what each individual
they are able to get
based off of how much
how
big of a percentage they are of that.
They get it because they are on a tribal enrollment, my friend. To be on side of that tribal enrollment, you have to have a certain blood quantum to be on that enrollment.
And you get paid based off of how much percentage you are.
No, once you make a certain, like once you hit it, well, some tribes are a little different, but
and the only reason I know that is because I've sold cars to plenty of them, and they get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year just for being native.
No, Northern Cheyenne make I think it's 70 racks a fucking month. Okay, so some of these
that's reparations, pimp.
No. It's a little different. So with this, so okay, let's take the Osage people of Oklahoma, right? They struck fucking oil on their res. They struck oil, right? And through that, they sold that oil to the American government. The American government was kept cutting them checks, right? And through their federal recognition, right, they were able to have this exchange on a legal tendered level, right? After a while, now there's a whole money scheme with this whole thing, right? That's a whole different story. There's actually a book on it. This, right, what you have in California, they're federally recognized tribes, and these guys are building, they have their own economics, right? They have their
laws, they have their own, they have everything.
Own everything, bro. And so,
it's literally a different country on a plot of land, bro. It's fucking
so
wild.
With some of them, there is money that the U.S. government paid the tribe, right? There's certain cases where they paid the tribe, right? All this fucking money years ago, all this fucking money. That money, what got invested, it's in bonds, whatever the fuck, and they're able to give us fucking stipend to the members of this tribe. Some tribes are self-sufficient because they have casinos and hotels and this and that, and because it's on federally recognized land, it's like a whole money thing. Like, you get what I'm saying? So
okay, so what happens to those casinos once that stops? Then was what you were asking me. So what happens?
It goes to the U.S. government. Who else is it going to?
But it doesn't. I don't think it works like that though, because especially here in California, what we do in Indian casinos is not legal. It's only legal because we're doing it on the reservation.
On the res. But if the legal status of that reservation is revoked, right? I would have to assume, unless it's privately owned by a separate entity and not the tribe itself, it's not protected.
Which they're not. Well, I would say all the casinos, especially here in San Diego, are all owned by the tribe.
Oh, I think Hard Rock has a buy-in.
I don't have Hard Rock. We don't have Hard Rock in San Diego.
No.
I have Sequan, which is owned by a tribe. I have Viejas, owned by a tribe. Verona, owned by a tribe.
Cousins. No. Like they have stake in it. Like I think Caesars. Don't quote me, but I think Caesars may have like a stake in Pachanga. You get what I'm saying? It's
Oh
like
yeah,
they
that's
have like
further north. Yeah. I don't know about Pachanga. I don't know about
in like
uh
Morongo. I
yeah,
think there might
Golden
be.
Acorn. I don't know about that one.
So I don't know. Because I do remember. I do remember when La Jolla was trying to get their casino. My dad had a meeting with fucking Hard Rock. Hard Rock was trying to set up a casino inside, and I think that was another reason why the deal didn't go through because it was like, it's an outside entity coming into the res and blah 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 blah, like blood money, like you know what I'm saying? Like it becomes a fucking money thing.
Okay,
So there
wait. So
is
let's get back. Let's get back to what we were originally talking to because I don't want to delve too far away from it. So, what do you think we should? What do you think that we should?
there
learn
is
in history?
systematic racism. Hold on, I do want to say that there is still facets of
How?
systematic
Now we're
racism.
about to. Now we're about to argue for real. How?
Because that right there alone, the fact that native people inside of our own country, this is our country. I'm always American. I'm always American,
Mhm.
but natives have their own land here, right? Like some shit that was promised to them, right? And if America is going to stand on those promises, let's stand on them, right? And blood quantum testing for Native Americans is wrong. Like it's just fucking wrong. Like
Why is that wrong? Okay, hold on. The reason that that land was given to them and the basis of what they were given money off of was because of an agreement, right? So, and that was part of the agreement, right? If you have such and such so many tribes people, if you have such and such so many people by this lineage, based off of this percentage of their blood and heritage, then you get to keep this money. So how is that racism? It was based off of the binding legal contract when they were given that land and given that area to continue to live in.
Because it's racism if I don't let you live on my res.
What do you mean? How is that racist?
Because it's racist. No, I don't know how it's racist, but people
You
argue
just said that.
No, I don't know how it is, but the argument begins is, well, it's racist, right? So it's like, why can't white people live on the res?
White people can live on the res.
Hold on. From a native standpoint, I'm over here screaming, hey, bro, we're trying to keep the bloodline. You get what I'm saying? Like if I'm an OG native, one of these dudes, hey.
That's racist.
Why?
Because you're trying to keep your bloodline. What the fuck are white people trying to do? Keep their bloodline. Like,
hey, but we got treaties. We got treaties. We got treaties. You don't. We got treaties. Sure. This is my grandpa's land, right?
That's racist. That's still racist in the standpoint of a native. Yes, it is. You're trying to keep your bloodline strong so you can keep your money, right? So where does the oppression from the system come from on that? Where the racism seems to be more from the native people than it comes from anybody else.
Well, because they use this reverse psychology, right? Of saying, well, if you don't let us live there, then you're oppressing us. If you don't let us live there and barter and trade with you, you're being racist to us. You're being prejudiced against us.
That is prejudice, and that is racist. Like that is the main. That is the by definition racism. That is by definition racism. That's like if you come to Chicano Park in San Diego, right? And I say nobody but Chicanos can live here because it's a Chicano Park. That's racist. Why? Because I'm saying that only my race can live in this area. That's racist.
Then absolutely.
I don't see
absolutely.
So the system's not being racist. The system's not being racist. The natives are being racist based off of what they're trying to keep from the system. That's not systemic oppression at all.
No, there's definitely still an oppression. There's still
the oppression. The oppression. If I made a binding contract with you,
if I don't want to have to deal with you, I shouldn't have to. If I don't
want an agreement.
Okay, but this reservation line is reserved for us.
Correct.
Yes, that's a part of our agreement.
So how is the system oppressing you?
Okay, so first off, because there's already a border drawn, and to live inside that border and to maintain this border, I have to prove a certain blood, right? So why is it that your people from on that side of the line, right, get to force their way to live in here?
Who forces their way into reservations?
But they do. They have.
But how does that have to do with the system? Punch is what I'm asking you. Where is the system saying, hey, you can go move into the reservation?
Because there's laws in place, right? That can create how's the way that they put it? There's laws in place that can create a delay, right? Let's say delays of certain goods and services making it to your reservation.
Okay.
Right.
Tell me one law. Tell me one law that stops goods from getting into the reservation? Tell me one law.
Bro, there's been whole things where they stop truckers. They will stop truckers.
Tell me the law that stops truckers
Oh.
from going into a
Oh
reservation.
no. I'm not saying like there is
You
a
just said
no,
there's
hold on,
laws.
because this is a part of where like CRT gets messy, right? This is the part.
CRT because CRT doesn't. It's dumb as fuck. That's why.
No,
Yes, it is,
No.
and I'm showing you why it's dumb right now.
bro, and like just think of it. Just think of it like this, right? Just think of it like this, because here's a clear.
You're following along, right?
Because here's
I'm-
a
The thing is, I think we're getting hung up on the word systematic. I don't know if that necessarily means it's
Systemic.
Systemic. Sorry. I don't know if necessarily systemic should. I don't know if necessarily systemic should be the word that they use when they're not speaking of legalities. They're speaking of more socially and how things are viewed within it, within the system, not necessarily in a legality sense.
Social and systemic are two different things.
I know that's what
Social,
I'm saying. That's what I'm
social
saying.
is, but here's
I
the
think
thing: here's the issue.
said
is
wrong.
social is based off the people, and that's why they can't say social. That's why
take
they say
this,
systemic.
take this, right? Take this, because I can
That's
only
why
I'm only
CRT
going
is
to speak
dumb
to a
as
Native
fuck.
American's point, right?
Okay,
So
and I'm gonna keep arguing on this point.
there's laws in Oklahoma. I think there's like a law in like Oklahoma or some
Okay.
shit
What's the
where
law?
if a man is if a man is wearing a hat in a barn or in a bar, he can be arrested. Right? It's like some weird fucking law, right? There's laws all across this country that are in effect but aren't practiced. Can
Sure.
we agree to that? Okay.
Yeah, jaywalking used to be one of them, but now California made it legal. Yes.
They don't care, right?
Okay.
So there's still laws to this day where Native Americans can be assigned a ward of the state, right? To help allocate, balance, and spend the money that they receive through their federally recognized tribes. They can be assigned a ward.
Sounds damn good to me.
No, it's not
Why?
good.
Why?
Because why do you get to tell me how I get to spend my money? That's my money.
I'm the one giving you the money.
No, you're not.
Why am I not? You just said the government is giving these.
No,
federally
this is
elected-
allocated. This is allocated from my tribe. Let's take the because this happened to the Osage people, right? And what was happening is that they were being assigned wards of the state because they struck oil, right? And they were making buku bucks.
Yeah,
They
because
were-
what? They decided to sell the oil to the government, right?
Uh-huh.
So that's a
So
contract,
why-
a contractual agreement right there.
But why do you get to come in here and say that? Right
What do I get to come in
now,
here and say what?
how-
You made the agreement with me.
Now, how it became an agreement, I don't know. Right? The only thing the only
because
thing-
it would be different if you told me that the American people ran reservation lines, decided that they no longer are on that line, shift the line so that the oil is now in the hands of the American people. But that's not how it happened. How it happened was they struck oil, they made a deal with the American people to give them that oil so they can continue to get money. That's a contractual agreement. If you don't abide by that contractual agreement, then now you're breaking contract. Now you're fucked.
Now there was a way.
Oh.
I can't remember exactly how it went down, but there was a way where it got funky. It got really funky, and there was laws that got crossed. You know what I'm saying? But
Sorry, super quickly because I'm trying to like get more information on this. The word systemic isn't necessarily in legalities.
It's the system that was created.
No. It's not even the creation of the system. It's and I'm just reading this off of Google. What relates to or affects an entire system. So whatever influences and the people who work there, or whatever, would influence the system as it functions. Not necessarily how anything was set up or how it's purely describing how a system functions and might be affected due to the people who work in it.
Yeah, I think honestly, when a lot of it was going down, it was before there was even any laws like between the like it was the time span of them gaining reservations and all this shit, like between the time between free Native American to striking oil was a short fucking gap. You get what I'm saying? Like such a short gap.
Sure.
And so at this time, you had people where it was like these are all gray areas. These are all gray areas. You know what I'm saying? And so at this time, you had dudes who were marrying into families, bro, and stealing whole fucking riches from this
Well,
tribe.
they
bro.
still do that to this day, but that's based off. I mean, that's. I don't think that's a system at all, nor is it oppression. It's just
Well,
people
wait,
are being fucking dumb as fucking marrying whoever the fuck they want.
there is a rumor that Native Americans are the beginning of the prenuptial agreement.
Well, I'm sure they are, and they by every right they should be.
So the systemic part, right, was bred in the beginning. It was bred in the beginning, right? And then later on there was a law to your point, right? There is a law then put in place to stop things happening to people this way, right? Like, hey, you can't just marry into the family and kill the wife and get all this fucking money. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't think that has to do with racism at all. And
that has a lot to
the,
do with racism. That especially like because the Osage people, like, bro, that's how the FBI was formed. The FBI was formed over the murdering of all these different fucking families, bro, happening on this reservation. Like houses were getting blown the fuck up in like millions, bro. There was a whole coup, bro. A whole family was in on this shit. Killers of the Moonflower or Killers of the Flower Moon. No, Killers of the Moonflower. Read that shit. Give it a goog. Buy it on Amazon. It's fucking
give it a
great.
goog.
It's
Period.
fucking great. It's a great fucking book, dude. I'm telling you.
He's about to hit us with some knowledge right now.
Sorry, Crystal Waters has an article that I'm trying to get. It has examples of systemic racism that is kind of the point of what the bases of CRT are trying to get at. And so I'm trying to give more examples, information. So like,
okay, so just to clarify though, Korpsx, you believe that CRT should be taught in school?
No.
But you believe systemic racism is a real thing.
I think that there's examples of it, but I don't think that it is as prevalent as people may make it seem. But I do think that there are clear examples inside the history of America where these things happened. The way that they teach it.
No, that's not what I'm asking. I'm not asking if systemic racism has ever been a thing. I'm asking, is it currently a thing?
Yes, but
I agree.
But not on a level that people may take it when you first hear that statement. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think that affirmative action is systemic racism.
It's a reversed racism.
I don't think racism is a thing. Yeah,
reverse racism. There's no such thing.
It does
not exist.
Anyway.
What the fuck is reverse racism? Well, what is reverse racism? Any time that a black person is racist versus
apparently,
a white person?
I don't think this is true, but
it doesn't make any fucking sense. Racism is racism.
Hold on. Demo, go.
I was just gonna. I don't agree with this definition, but people have attributed racism to being a power structure type of deal, where you can only be racist in one direction when you have more power than the other, and reverse racism is when the minority or the oppressed are racist towards the person with the bigger power. I don't think this is true. I think racism is racism. If you're fucking racist, you're a dickhead. But yeah, I mean, I agree. Wow, man, look at
I know. I'm just a fucking Uncle Tom.
Look at me and Cisco just agreeing, holding hands.
I'm racist as fuck. Okay, I'm racist as fuck. I don't care about nobody else's race. Like, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit.
When I said that I agreed with a lot of the things that Donald Trump said, you know how many times I was called racist?
Oh yeah,
that doesn't fucking make any sense. It had nothing to do with whatever it had to do with his tariffs and the fact that he was trying to build. Oh my god! It was the fact that he was trying to build jobs here in the country and keep illegals out. That's what I fucking agreed with. That's not me being racist.
All right, I think you're a bigot, dude.
Bigot.
You just said you're a fucking real piece of work, dude. Real grand.
Canceled. I know we're surpassing 3 hours, but I do want to hear Crystal. I know
I got the article.
Prevalent in Zero's chat, so I want to see the article that she brought.
You guys want me to send it to you?
No, I want you to read it. I want you to read me portions of it.
I'm terrible at this. Systemic and structural racism. Definitions, examples, health damages, and approaches. Okay. So there's
what's the preface to this article again? What is it? It's showing
systemic and structural racism definition.
No, it's showing. What did she say it was? She said it's showing examples of
It talks about examples of systemic racism, which I think is the point of CRT teachings or teaches.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So what is this actually? Because it's
Um,
such a vague thing. Like I don't understand really what
Bullshit.
people be trying to say. Like the thing of systemic racism, I can understand that. Like, yes, there is examples throughout our history, but I just don't think it's such a thing as it is today.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Through history, did systemic racism exist? Absolutely. Redlining and things of those natures. Like I said earlier, the reason why we're the schools that we're in, based off of where we grow up and things of that nature, those are all based off of things that were in place to keep. I would say it's more classes than it is racism,
Okay,
but
right. So let's take blood quantums, right?
here we go back
Because
to
we're
the blood
saying
quantum shit.
this is because how you were saying some of this right now, right? So okay, the thing is with our blood quantums, right? That is something that has no expiration. Your blood, if you can maintain 100%, blood is blood, right? Like blood is blood. Get what I'm saying? So the problem is them making an agreement to that back then. I don't think they understood exactly what they were agreeing to, right?
Sure,
Because
sure they did.
as times change, and you know what I mean, like you want to do commerce with your neighbor, you want
You want to fuck a white woman? I get it.
hey bro, 30 40 years down the road, bro, it's like, hey, your grandpa was fucked up to my grandpa, but hey, let's have a beer, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so
I get it. I get it. But like I said, contractual agreements are what they are, bro. Like you, right? Like we always say, the only thing that we have in this life is our word and our balls as men, right? So if I sit here and shake your hand and sign a contract, that's what the contract is.
so
Blame
do
your
you think
ancestors.
reservations should be preserved,
Do
or
I
should they
think
be
they should?
allowed, or should they be allowed to die off?
No. Personally, what do I believe? I
Mhm.
believe that reservations should be preserved.
Okay, so do you think that they should rewrite the laws on blood quantums?
No, because that was what the contract was that they signed.
So after 300 years,
I was gonna say, you don't
I
think
mean-
contracts can be revised?
Sure, they can.
you can refinance a car.
Sure, they can. But
You can
is it
refinance a car.
for the means of us continuing to give other people money? I don't even want to give money to the people in fucking Ukraine. We
What
got
about
other
the-
shit.
What
We got
about the
shit that we
tribes
gotta
that are
worry about here.
self-sufficient? What about tribes that are self-sufficient?
Well, tribes that are self-sufficient should continue to be self-sufficient.
But what if their blood quantum drops off? What if they
What's
lose
it?
enrollment?
But aren't they
See,
like
okay, so now we're giving right.
A
Are we
very
gonna
a very specific. That's a very specific.
correct? So,
Mhm.
so here's why I look at it on my Libra scale. Right, we're gonna continue to give these tribes money. I only said that because I'm a Libra. We're gonna continue to give these tribes money. Continue to give these tribes money as the government after breaking something contractually. Probably not. Are we
Look
gonna
into
get?
that.
Are we gonna? I am going to. I promise you when I tell you that I'm gonna fact check a lot of this shit, I'm going to. And then should we continue to allow this tribe their land and be self-sufficient where we don't have to give them money? Maybe we gain a little bit of money off their casinos and taxes and things of this nature. Sure, why not? I'm not losing anything. They're not losing anything. Let's continue to let them have their land.
So if
But I
they're
gotta continue. I gotta continue to give. Think about it like this, bro. If you're if I live with you, right,
Mhm.
in your crib,
Mhm.
but I buy my own groceries. I keep my portion of the crib. I stay on the couch. Make sure the couch is clean. Make sure you got people come over,
Mhm.
and we make an agreement. Hey, Pudge, I'm gonna pay you $500 a month. And I'm gonna stay on the couch, but I'm gonna make sure that I have my own groceries, make sure I have my own toiletries, my own toothpaste, my own toothbrush, make sure the crib is clean whenever I'm done with it. Like, you're gonna let me live there as long as I continue to pay you $500 a month, and everything that I said is done is gonna be done, right? But
Mhm.
you know, half a month comes, and now I'm starting to use your toothbrush and your toothpaste. The couch, I left it a little dirty. I start eating your groceries, and I only pay you $250 a month. Am I breaking my contract that we had?
Mhm.
So do you have the right to kick me out?
Mhm.
So
But
are
if
you gonna
you
keep me? Are you gonna keep me in your house?
if you were to maintain self-sufficiency, that's the thing, right? It's kind of hard to kind of compare those two. but
No, it's
maintaining.
not. Self-sufficiency is where it's at. If I keep paying you $500 a month, I keep feeding myself, I keep using my own toothbrush and toothpaste and keeping the crib clean, you're gonna let me stay there as long as I fucking want to. Even if I have to, even if I told you it was gonna be 6 months, and I'm like, you know what, Pudge, can I stay here another 6 months? And you're like, yeah, cool. You know, everything's been going good. You haven't broken anything that you're gonna say. Granted, you said it was only gonna be 6 months, but you know what? It's not so bad having you here because you don't eat my food, you don't use my toothbrush, you keep the crib clean, and I get $500 a month. Cool. You're going to let me stay there. So, yes, self sufficient tribes and reses should absolutely be able to stay. Now, if I was like, yo,
if we lose blood quantum, then we lose the rights to our reservation.
And that's when I think that something can be revised. That's what I'm saying. I believe that it can be revised in that state. But if I have to continue giving you money and you're breaking the contract that you wrote, and you're not holding up your end of the bargain, then by all means, bye-bye.
Yeah, I can't think of, like, I know there's grants. I know that there's certain grants kids can get for like school and stuff, like, you know what I mean, for being Native American.
For the 100.
And that is a part of the whole like affirmative action thing, like that I kind of have a problem with. It's cool that they get to go to school. Like, I mean, like, yeah, kudos to you, dude. But
affirmative action is absolute bullshit in my opinion.
What is that?
Affirmative action. Are you familiar with affirmative action? Do you agree that it's bullshit?
Honestly,
I'm trying to get 0 canceled.
I
feel like he's gonna be very PC in his answer.
No. The thing is like there's no yes or no, and these are so complicated questions.
No, it's not. It's either is it bullshit or is it not bullshit?
Well,
is it considered racism or not? That's my question to you. Is affirmative action considered racist or not?
Would you say that that's a form of systemic racism then?
Sure. In a way that people don't want to hear that it is. Absolutely. Let's go with that.
Maybe.
You get to go to a certain school because you're a minority. Not because your grades tell you can go there, not because you worked really hard to get there, but you get to go there because you applied. They need a certain amount of this color to go there, and you made it. If anything, it's hurting you more than it's doing good for you.
Is it? Why would it hurt you more?
Because let me ask you a question. If you got into Harvard because you're Mexican, but your grades didn't get you into Harvard, but you got there because of your race, don't you think that you're more likely to fail?
Well, if I fail, wouldn't there just be more space for other people?
Sure, but you just went and wasted your fucking time at Harvard to fail.
Yeah, and you're also taking the space of somebody who was trying
and eligible to go.
Listen, I don't know enough about affirmative action. I imagine the reason that it was even put into place was because they saw that, you know what, there's a certain type of people who are going to really high quality schools, getting really high quality degrees. And there's a subsection of people, minorities, who aren't getting that high quality education that for whatever reason, XYZ, they're just not getting in as often. So
yeah, it started at Ivy League schools.
Scale a little bit.
Started at Ivy League schools where there was majority white people that went to those schools. Harvard, Yale, Stanford, places of that nature, right? So they said, you know what? We're no longer in a segregation. We're no longer separated. So we need to have a certain amount of these minorities come into our school. So what do? We're going to look at the applications. We're going to find the ones that are colored because they have to check the boxes, right? We were talking about that earlier. You got to check the boxes of what ethnicity and what race they are. You know what? This person, that person, this person are black. Boom. Entered into Harvard.
But I think
not based off of your grades.
Yeah, but I think off your resume. I think the hopes of it is that there's the minority of people have a certain challenges and things that they have to overcome in order to be on either equal footing or whatever it may be for the people who commonly go to these schools.
Which
so to balance it back out. whether it be economic, whether it be geographic, whether it be quality of schooling that they have.
But
available to them.
are those choices of their own, or like
It's not,
those-
but that's what I imagine affirmative action is supposed to be a balancing scale to, you know what, you didn't have the right cards dealt to you to give you this high quality education, but we're giving you the chance, the opportunity to prove that you can take that and run with it. And
because you're
hopefully they
black,
do.
but because you're a
I
minority,
don't think it's
they don't. Affirmative action doesn't
But that-
apply to affirmative
Sure,
action does
sure,
not apply
but-
to white people. It doesn't apply to Asian people,
because
especially Chinese that are in the highest percentile when it comes to math and literature. How come those people?
is it only black people? Or is it like more than just black people?
No, it creates it created like a
minorities in
quota.
general?
Like yeah,
Minority in
it created a
general.
quota. It created
Yeah.
a quota of
was-
a certain percentile has to be this. Like there was like a bare minimum percentile that was required from every like university from what I've remembered and understood. And bro, there's groups like NAACP, like you know what I mean? And so
They can't create a fucking white version of that, and that's
You get what I'm
racist,
saying?
in my opinion.
Let
Let me ask you this. Okay, so this is my main argument for this, and I know I'm gonna catch a lot of flack for it, but I don't give a fuck, right? Like as a Mexican male or as a Mexican person, I can say I have brown power. I have brown power. I'm proud to be Mexican, proud to do this, blah 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 blah. And I think you and I talked about this. Like as black people, they can say, you know, I have black power and this and that. Why can't white people do the same fucking thing, bro?
Wait, white power is I feel like it's tied to like a different thing, isn't it? Isn't it?
But
Like,
that's
the dogma behind
like
it is like
yeah,
correct. But we can. So everybody and their mom of different race, different ethnicity, different colors can all say that they back that and have the power and feel liberated because of their culture. But white people can't do that. Like that's not fair. In my opinion, that's not fair at all.
That's
Yeah,
very
of
fair.
course,
That's a very fair thought from you. Like,
And I understand why.
Mhm.
Why, but I think it's unfair.
It
I think
is,
it's
it
very unfair.
Mhm.
Because I have white friends. I have that, and
they should be able to be proud of who they are. Type
absolutely,
of thing.
absolutely. And
How
I
did
feel
we
like
get
that's
here?
very unfair. I don't know.
Anyway,
Oh,
back to the-
critical race theory. That's what it was.
Oh yeah.
Critical race theory.
See, and that I think is a big problem. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like teaching that as a history is weird. Like,
Wait. So hold on.
because we went from
affirmative.
history
This is
versus social
affirmative action comment. Even if you're a minority, they don't care. If you're a minority from a bad town that struggles or a minority raised in the suburbs, they just go based off race, which is racist.
well, would it
So
be?
the thing is with
Or affirmative action.
Now this is okay. So this is where I'm gonna kind of take you down a rabbit hole, and this is where the thing about critical race theory gets furry. Is affirmative action and these type of programs and stuff are created to alleviate the oppression that was once in the school systems, right?
Correct.
Due to segregation and factual things that happened in history, right?
Mhm.
Understandable.
Absolutely.
So there was a
It was
systemic
part of reparation.
There was-
It was a part of a reparation in a sense.
that kind of trickled down the line. So yes, there was a systemic programming that schools, these are white schools, white people are allowed here, and then it turned into mixed. So then they said, so not to further your education, now we are only having all these white schools, right? Universities are only accepting white students. They can come up with whatever reason they want for not accepting them, but they're only accepting white students. So they create affirmative action, which is supposed to help uplift these people, right? So I get the idea, but then the system then turns around and says, okay, well, we're just going to make these schools too fucking expensive because the black household was not making as much money. This is a fact. Like, you know what I mean? At these times, we're not making as much money. They didn't have the economic resources. Okay, cool. So now, like, that's where you get into these things of affirmative action, making sure that these guys are getting scholarships and woo, 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 woo. But there's a lot of people still falling. The say a systemic oppression based off of race is hard for me because it's like saying like white people ain't poor. There's like not it went from being strictly a race thing to now an economic attack against
It's
people.
mostly economic, and that's the thing is that's why when I say when people talk about systemic oppression, the main thing that is behind that is systemic racism, which that and then that's what I think is bullshit. That's why I think critical race theory is bullshit. I don't think any of this has to deal with races. It has to deal with classes.
Yeah.
Like that's what we have to get back to and understand that the reason that these schools that we go to where we have to where we want to send our kids to better schools is because those better schools are in the suburbs. It's based off of the systemic oppression that happened in the past, right? Redlining and things of that nature. But it still trickles down because there's not enough change to create that huge of a fucking rotation, but it no longer comes based off of racism. It's classes. It's classism, and that's where it comes off of. And people confuse classism for racism. But like you just said, there's poor white people everywhere. Like
They're poor natives.
poor natives, poor blacks, poor Mexicans, poor everything. But there's just like there's rich whites, rich blacks, rich Mexicans. I've seen them all. It's not. It doesn't have to do with racism, and that's what I think is the continuation of division in our country, where we have to go back. And I understand why you don't like to see the hyphen in that because we're all American at the end of the day. It goes back to classism, and that's where we have to fight this fight, right? Like the middle class is no longer going to exist within the next 10 years, which is absolute bullshit. And it goes back to again what the teachers are teaching, and it goes back into those things of like go follow your dream and do this. Like, nah, bro, we gotta teach economics in school. We gotta teach these kids how to be good with their fucking money. We gotta teach them trades so that that way if they don't become an NFL star or MLB star, or NBA star, or singer or actor or dancer or any of these things, they have something to fall back on. They know how to handle their money. They know how to file their taxes. Like it does go back into the school system, but the issue is they're not trying to keep a certain race down. They're not trying to keep minorities down because the minority is based off the class, the lower class, the middle class, the bottom end of the middle class. That's what it's about. And that's what people are too stupid to fucking listen about this shit. Like systemic oppression. I would say systemic oppression exists more than systemic racism because of the fact that it has to deal with the classes. It doesn't have to deal with race. But the more that we continue to divide ourselves, and the more that we continue to think that it is based on race, is the further apart we're gonna get from becoming together and understanding how to create a baseline of where we should all be. The more we think the more that we try and teach critical race theory, the more that we listen to these dumbass fucking Democrats during fucking election time where they're talking about the separation of the people, the more that we think that people's opinions really fucking matter and try and cupcake to each fucking LGBTQ plus transgender.
My man's going hard.
No, but I'm being dead serious. Like these are the things that we're talking about that we think matter these days, but they don't fucking matter. Like let people live the life that they want to fucking live. You know what I mean? But stop trying to bring it into schools. Stop trying to bring it onto other people. Let everybody live the way that they fucking want to live. And let's fucking get this money and learn how to get this money and make sure that our kids know how to fucking get this money and be smart about their shit. Like, that's what the fuck I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Everybody can do whatever the fuck they want to do, bro. We live in the fucking freest country of the world.
Yeah. I think there needs to be more like, and I think to cap this whole thing off between like teachers and what we should be doing.
I wasn't trying to be mean. I apologize for that.
No.
I'm just trying to be fair. Like, let's worry about the fucking things that matter.
You haven't said nothing outlandish. You know what I mean? It's all very reasonable, dog. Like, you know what I mean? And I think like honestly, Cisco, you had even said it earlier, bro, was like there needs to be more parent-teacher meetings. Right. I feel like parents, we need to be able to establish ourselves in a way, whether we show up on Saturdays or not, dude, I don't give a fuck. Like there needs to be more involvement between us and our teachers so that they know that we're involved. Right. There's certain discussions that may be arising in our class that we might need to talk about at home. You know what I mean? Maybe even be aware of. You know what I'm saying? But the things that we need to be focusing on at school is school shit. Like, teach these kids fucking work, teach them how to bend some fucking pipe, pull wire up a fucking main panel of a house, dude. Teach them some framing. Teach these motherfuckers how to sew. Teach these motherfuckers how to cook. Like teach them something applicable to life. Like
I
please.
agree. I think it's criminal. I think it's fucking crazy that we live in a world where like you can graduate high school and be like, oh shit, I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to cook. I have to learn how to cook. Thank God I took weight training out of a fucking fluke, by the way, because I was in basketball. And when I didn't make the team, they were like, just do like PE. And I was like, fuck it. Weight training's sick. Sounds cool. My friends are in it. So fuck it. We'll just do that. And it was like so valuable to do that. Cooking should absolutely be something that kids learn coming out. I think that's important for everybody to fucking learn. Yeah, stuff like that, taxes, all that shit, managing different sort of investment portfolios, understanding what investment portfolios are, things in investing, Roth IRAs, all this crazy shit that like
dividend paying stocks,
why you would hold something,
IRAs, fucking
Yeah.
401ks.
401ks, what to do, when to pull shit out, when to not do that. It's fucking crazy.
I always pull out
It's fucking crazy that
for one time.
That I learned all this shit online, like trying to figure out like I don't know what percentage of a down payment I need for like a house. The fact that I don't need $100,000 to put down on a house, it's like, oh shit, I didn't know that. Okay, I guess I can like.
Hey, you'd be good with
get out of it.
$100,000 down, though. I'm just saying.
That would not hurt, but you know, the fact that you
FHA
don't
loans.
necessarily need it. FHA loans, the different programs that are out there. It's crazy.
CDs, yeah, bro.
FHA loans, you need like 2% down, bro. If the house, it's like 2% down if the house is less than $400,000.
Financial literature, but here's the thing: is financial literature will never be taught in school.
Because look at how, because look at how they're
classes.
oppressing us. Look at how they're oppressing us.
So again, I'll say this: I will say that I believe that some form of systemic oppression exists, but I don't believe that systemic racism exists. And I think that CRT is just a ploy by the fucking Democrats, in my opinion. That's why it'll never pass in places like Florida.
Overall, and I'll send you guys this article because I think it's probably a good read. I've only like skimmed a lot of it. Because it even has a portion of affirmative action that we were talking about earlier. I definitely understand the aim, whether or not they're achieving it. I'd have to read more, and like I know what affirmative action is broadly, but obviously not enough. Like I wouldn't be comfortable saying like, oh yeah, bro, I fucking know, and like I'm well versed in it. Obviously not. I get that. I imagine it as like a negative feedback loop where because something happened, things are not on fair footing and they can continuously get worse, and it's hard to break out of that without some sort of intervention.
Yeah, but that's based off of the sheeple, the word without unison, and becoming unified in something based off of the words that we hear from other people because of the way that it's presented. That's why I was like, you know.
Wait. I don't understand what you just said.
Why do you think that all these types of large protests and things like that happen during election time? Why do you think that there's less unification in the nation during election times?
Oh, well, I mean,
the same reason that Joe Biden said that if you're not black, you were not gonna fucking vote for him.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, if you look throughout history, this is a real fucking thing, and you can look at this next upcoming event, next upcoming run for presidency. You will see a lot of division in our country based off of either sex, whether it's a transgender issue, or race, and that's to create division so you can vote for a certain party or the other. Just watch. It's history, bro. It's historical. This is how they do it. They create division so that you can vote for one side or the other, and you're not gonna listen to what the actual statements of what the change is gonna be. You're gonna listen to a lot of fucking bullshit. Just watch.
I will say though, to be fair,
but let's be fair. I'm very fair.
To be fair, the vote, and who do I get the? I feel like I've said this to my girlfriend before. The vocabulary that we use, even as an individual in content that we make and content that we consume, is, I think, propelling this division by saying these stupid Democrats, these stupid this, and it's divisive in the day-to-day speech that we even say,
Sure.
and not necessarily helping the overall. You know what I mean? Like, because if I feel like you're not understanding me and you don't want to understand me, then at some point I'm gonna retract my charitability of understanding you and seeing where you're coming
Do
from.
you feel like I don't want to understand you, or do you
No,
feel
no,
like
I'm not
that
talking
any
about
of
on
the
a personal
discourse?
basis. No, I'm not saying
okay.
personally. I'm just saying like okay, so if I'm consuming content that's like, let's say I feel like I'm a little bit more left than at least you, Save. At Pudge, I feel like you're pretty in between sommes. I feel like you
I try
think
to
Fuck
be.
no, this motherfucker
no.
is so
Okay,
conservative. It
maybe
doesn't even
okay. So
fucking
I'm
funny.
I'm
I
more left than both
try,
of you.
dude. I try.
Then
He's
I'm more
conservative
left
as fuck.
than both of you. But I would say that if you guys, okay, let's not make it personal. If I was gonna
No,
say,
let's make it personal to make more sense.
okay. So if you guys were to both state your positions, right, and then I was stating my position and why I believe what I believe, and you constantly attacked the, not necessarily what I was saying or me as an individual, but the ideologies or like the things that I'm pulling from, and not really trying to understand the basis of where I'm coming from, I'd eventually be like, well, why the fuck would I ever give any
Like
sort of
me saying the
credibility?
reason that you think like that is because you're a Democrat.
It's
I said something like that.
something like
Yeah.
that. Where
I
like,
agree
yeah,
with you.
you would say some dumb shit like
Admitted to
that because you're a fucking
misunderstanding.
But
Democrat.
okay, but I will say this. I will say this. I have noticed more so that more people on the right will listen more to the people on the left than vice versa. In my opinion, and what I've seen, what I've heard, people I've talked to, I feel like people on the right, more conservative people, are open to discussion and open discussions without like fair discussions, right? Without like pulling back because they hear something that doesn't agree with their ideology. Then liberals are 100%.
I think I'd agree with that, and it is unfortunate. I think people on the left, on the far left, should be able to, speak to anybody and make their case. And if it doesn't work out, then reevaluate and be like, oh shit, do I believe in something that's bullshit, or do I not know all the facts, or whatever? I think that's
I would say that, like, and I've heard this saying before, was I think I heard it from like Jorge Masvidal, that if you're young and you're not a liberal, then you have, or if you're not a socialist, you have no heart. And if you're older, if you're a boy, and you're a socialist, or and you have and or something, like if you're a boy and you're a socialist, that means you have a heart, right? But if you're a man and you're a conservative, that means you have a brain. So it was like, so I think of it like when I see younger cats, and even when I think about myself when I was like 23, right? I was super socialist, bro. Super, like, I was a socialist, bro. I was super left, everything progressive. Let's go. And then now as I've gotten older, I've gotten way more conservative. And so even when I speak to people nowadays, I notice a lot of guys who are very progressive or left leaning. They're generally younger. And so it's hard for me to compare the conversations I have with them, because one's younger, and a lot of guys who I know who are very conservative, like very, very conservative, they're generally older guys. So just trying to have a conversation on that level is way, sometimes it's like, whoa, dog. Like, you know what I mean? Like, whoa, whoa. Now, I have had conversations with, I would say, progressive people, like, you know what I mean? And they go okay, but I've never had, but it's hard for me to make a comparison because I've never had a conversation with an 18-year-old conservative, like super conservative young man. I've never had that conversation. I just don't think it really exists like that.
Yeah, I also agree. I have had lots of people that I've gone to school with that are of minority groups, that when they find out that I'm more conservative than liberal, like extremely conservative, they're like, oh, I would have never thought that from you. And I always ask them why, and they always say because I'm a minority.
That's wild.
that is actually fucking crazy. I've never heard that.
I've heard it like more than 5-6 times. Like, it's crazy,
Bro. Like, what's wild, like especially in Florida, people are always like trying to talk about how, like, a lot of like Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, and these people were like anti-Trump. But dude, everyone that I met down there were very pro-Trump. Like older cats, like older men and older women, they were like pro-Trump, and they were very like, and not just like Trump per se, but they were very Republican. Like they were very conservative.
He wanted to
Like,
do some fucking good stuff, bro. Like, and he did a lot of good stuff.
but they,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm just saying, like, but like, they were just like, I mean, they were very supportive of Ron DeSantis, and like, that's where I first really learned about him was speaking to these guys from the island.
Ronnie. I don't know about Ronnie,
He's
but
going to be your next president.
I know he probably is.
He's
And
gonna be
he,
your next president.
hey, better him than Biden. I'll tell you that much. But
Biden,
Ronnie is like extreme right, bro. It's like he's like extreme right, and I'm like, I don't know. Some of the things that he wants to bring into office,
bro, and he's duking it out with Disney right now, bro. That man's crazy, bro. But he's got balls. The guy's got fucking balls. The guy's got balls.
Trump had balls too, but
and he's good on the mic too, bro. I'd like to see them duke it out, bro, in a debate. Gee,
dude, Trump. I've always criticized this. Trump. His like biggest thing was obviously not like communicating in ways that I think people were used to, I guess, or people were.
He don't know how to talk. He's an idiot.
Who's a menace, bro?
He's a fucking degenerate.
Oh, he was good on the mic though.
I was talking to somebody about it, and I was like, "Bro, you can't apply for a job and then act how the fuck you want. Like that's not how it works."
We were talking. It was you and I who were talking about.
I think
this.
we were talking about this,
and I said that, and I was talking about how a lot of people don't understand that his following came from his stardom. And that, you know, like when you're a star, when you're in entertainment limelight like that, people are going to act out and do crazy shit to try and get your attention. So, you know, like, all like people, a lot of people that went to his rallies didn't even know any of his fucking policies.
Yeah,
which is absolutely ridiculous. And I think that's, but I think that nowadays, when people are running for presidency and things of that nature, people don't listen to your policies anymore. It's all based off of your campaign and how you run that campaign and what you're saying, and then what people latch onto, because people latch onto a clip. People latch onto a TikTok. People the little things that you say, right? Like the grab him by the pussy thing. People immediately started hating him for that.
Why?
You know what I mean? But I mean, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Like we've said worse fucking things. Let's be fucking real.
Yeah, not on the fucking air, not on the internet. And
he didn't know that. He didn't know that he was being recorded.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
He didn't know he was being recorded. He was in a bus with tinted fucking windows, thinking that he was having a private conversation, and that went fucking ballistic and viral. Like, we've said worse fucking things. Let's be real, bro. Like, let's be fucking real. And people really fucking hated him for that shit.
Corpse.
I mean, I not only tell Damien to show me his dick every fucking episode, dude.
Exactly. Just put it like that. If one of us went out to be a fucking politician and a clip of this shit came out of me or Korpsx saying like, "Hey, show me your fucking dick." Yeah, like that. Like that's not gonna go. Bro. Like that's not gonna go well. You know what I mean? But people hung on it.
Well, bro, I just think we went from Obama, who was like, he was just so well spoken, and
he had a good swagger,
and he was.
But he did worse shit than. Let's be real. He did worse shit than fucking what Trump was doing. Like, let's be fucking real. All those kids in concentration camps right here near Mexico that they fucking blame that shit on Trump. That shit started in the beginning of Obama's fucking presidency. Like he was the one who was really trying to keep illegals out. Like, let's be fucking real. Just because Trump was saying build a wall, that didn't start because of fucking Trump. We've been trying to fucking build a wall and keep illegals out of here for a long time. But that's the thing is, you don't hear the people on the left saying that shit, bro. Yeah. They don't realize that the presidents that are on the left hand side are the ones
and this is another thing. So like history, right? Like let's talk history then. Let's talk fucking history. Like this is the type of stuff that needs to be getting taught in these curriculums, bro. Because it's like now when you have, because this is very relevant to now. South Africa brought up the fact that we killed Gaddafi. They brought that up, bro, in a fucking interview. Why? What? And in reference to why they are wanting to move away from dealing with the United States, bro. Obama killed fucking Gaddafi, so people need to understand this shit's not like ancient news. This is what 12?
Yeah, but you're also bringing up South Africa where they still have apartheid. Like they're the- like it's
Yeah,
not
well,
it's not a law there anymore, but they still practice apartheid. Like
yeah.
white South Africans do not like fucking black South
South
Africans.
Africans.
It's a fucking
Yeah.
like
It's
we want to.
wild, bro.
Yeah, and their laws are way different than our laws here. Like we call it segregation, they call it apartheid. Like let's be real, bro. There's a lot worse places that you can fucking live.
Hey, but they're saying so for them to look at us and say we ain't dealing with y'all. Like we know what you guys do. We know what you guys do when you go around. And it's true, we spread our democracy. You know what I mean? We spread democracy, but I mean America's great, whatever. Fuck them.
I thought
But
we were
it's
trying
like
to make it great again.
yeah, no. He's not going to win a second time. There's no way, bro. There's just no way.
Not now.
There's
Well,
no
he's
way.
not going to jail either. He's not going to jail either.
No,
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 he's
but
not going
just
to jail.
publicly, no.
No,
There's
he
no
won't
way.
win.
There's
If
no way.
anything, DeSantis wins over him.
He doesn't
It'll
have
be
the
it'll be
political
DeSantis and
swing.
I'll tell you this though, Sleepy Joe ain't winning again.
no, there's no way, bro. There's no way. And the heir apparent, like it was supposed to be Kamala Harris. If they were smart, it would have been Kamala Harris and Michelle Obama as her
No,
VP.
you know what's funny
Oh.
is that so Democrat the Democratic Party of this election were so happy about Kamala Harris winning, and we're like, this is going to be great for Black Americans and Black women everywhere.
She
Do you
went off
guys
the
know?
rails.
Do you
bro.
guys know that she's known for putting away the most minorities
For weed, right?
for the smallest fucking criminal
Infraction.
infractions.
And there was things like where she was prosecuting parents, and generally these are single mothers, but these are like parents of kids who were like delinquent ditchers at school. So if they racked up a certain amount of absences, they could technically arrest the parent. And so she was like so like pretty much it looks like she's targeting single mother households. You get what I'm saying?
Of
And then-
minorities, which is the
which are
worst.
generally more minorities, you know what I mean? When you look at the statistics, like, you know what I mean? When you look at the numbers, it's generally more. And so, and bro, she got obliterated by Tulsi Gabbard. Like, they better hope Ron DeSantis and Tulsi Gabbard don't run together. They better hope for it, bro. They better pray.
Yeah, because they'll get eaten alive. Let's
They'll
be real.
smash. They'll smash, bro.
It's
Tulsi
not-
Gabbard smashed on everybody. And dude, she's beautiful.
Bro, did you hear Kamala Harris talking about fucking these electric buses that they're coming out with? She was,
can't believe
she
she
was
did
like,
anything
"There's
so
USB device or USB ports for all your device." Bro, this shit was.
And
fucking-
Tulsi Gabbard, if you listen to this podcast, I just want you to know that I love you. I tweet you every time I see one of your tweets, and I tell you I love you. And I just hope
Wow.
you see this.
Wow.
I love you.
All right, let's kill it off. I gotta go to work.
Oh, shit.
Dang.
Dude, we almost did 4 hours, guys.
Bro,
this
there's
is
a
a good. This was a
long-
good fucking topic.
You guys
And
like
I argued with both of you guys tonight. Next time you guys are arguing.
this?
think
I've
me
been
and
waiting. I've been waiting on it.
I
I've been
feel like
waiting on
me
it.
and Punch, I don't know. I don't know if we'd argue.
Gotta bite down on him.
Send me that article, D,
Yeah. I'll send it in the
and
group
then
chat.
send it in the Discord.
Oh, in the Discord. Yeah, I'll send it in the Discord.
And then I'm gonna look up that the native shit. I'm gonna look up blood quantums, and I'm gonna look up the
Self-sufficient.
1924. No, I'm gonna look up the 1924, like what the proclamation, Emancipation Proclamation, who it was for. Was it only for African Americans?
Mhm.
And I'm gonna look up the 1924. What the fuck was it called? Indian. Hold on, let me find it. It was called the Indian Citizenship Act.
There you go.
Oh, when we have, and I got criticism through my girlfriend for this, and I agree. When we have like highly, not political, but like where we need to know a lot more facts, we should really fact check everything because sometimes we just be saying shit.
That's why I'm saying I'm gonna go fact check. I'm gonna go fact check.
I'm just saying, like,
That's
I
the
made
whole
it
point
very
why we
clear.
do
I
this,
made it
dude.
very clear that I'm gonna go fact check shit.
no, I
Listen,
mean even in the moment, because sometimes I feel like we do just say shit. Oh shit.
well, hey, man, that's the whole point why we do this live. That's why we read the chat, bro. And I'm just here to talk, man. Some of the shit.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it is just for us to have a fucking discourse, and our chat does a very good job at fucking like, hey, yo, this is what it is.
Mhm.
Like, this is the fact right here. and then it's
Well,
up to
too,
us
and
to
that's
be like,
also a reason why we have these conversations, because on a social level, w- things might mean a certain thing one way, right? But on a social level, they can mean something else. You know what I mean? And so socially, we're here having this conversation of these things that are impacting our lives. Now, if you want to present us with more information, or if we gather more information, I think we'd roundtable it all over again. Like, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
we can
Like,
come back and discuss again.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like
There's no finality in these conversations. Trust me. There's if
I
I'm
mean, think about
presenting,
it. Today's conversation was based off of 2 conversations that we've had in the past, and look at when we gave us almost 4 hours of content.
one of our longest eps.
Yeah, like we
Yeah,
never, none of us ever stopped talking, and like there was always some type of discussion continuing going on. So I love that. I mean, this
Also,
was
sorry, I just want to say I also appreciated that you guys were talking a lot. I felt like I didn't want to take over I didn't want every episode to be like me and Cisco like fucking bickering or anything. And I
oh no,
appreciate
Punch
that
and
you
I can get into it, bro.
guys- No, I saw
We've
that.
gotten into it
I saw
before.
that. I saw that.
Hey, I don't just press you, bro. I'm gonna press everybody.
No, I just don't want to be like I don't know. I don't want it to be like the Cisco and Damien bicker show. And
It's always fun. That's why people tune in though.
Yeah, they want to
Sometimes
see it,
people
man.
tune in just because they know that you and I are gonna disagree on
We're
shit.
gonna say something. We're gonna
Yeah,
say
because you always gotta be PC.
And
I'm
dude,
not,
and,
bro.
and,
I'm not
and
busy. What are you
bro,
talking
hey, and
about?
shout out, lady Zero. You know what I mean? Keeping us in tune and keeping us straight. Like, you know what I mean? But that's what these conversations are for. That's what we're doing. It's like
And I like that she watches the whole thing. That's dope.
fucking tight, bro. That's tight as fuck. Hell yeah.
Is she in here right now?
Yeah, bro. Sometimes she'd be texting me. She'd be like, "Bro, they are ill-informed. This, that, whatever." So sometimes she's calling y'all out.
Damn, is your girl a snowflake, bro? She's democratic too, huh?
Yo,
She's not triggered. She's just like, bro, like y'all gotta like look into it a little bit more.
Hey, that's what I'm here for.
we should get his old lady on the fucking podcast and see
Nah, she doesn't do all this.
what we're ill-informed about.
Well, or dude, I'm telling you, and I mean, whenever you guys want, bro, we can just start letting people in here, dude, and let's fucking talk. Okay? You know critical race theory? All right, let's talk. Because now I can ask you questions since you're informed, or oh, you know about fucking this shit. Okay, please, you're a scientist. Please tell me how this shit works.
That'd be
please.
cool. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like that, and that's what I do. I mean, that's how we all got here, right? It's like, oh, you're on you're on this channel. Oh, what's up, fool? Let's talk real quick. And then, oh, I mean, same. Come on, dog. Like we've known each other forever. So it's like, hey, fool, what's cracking? What's going on with gaming? Every time we talk, it always starts off with gaming, and then we end up talking about some other shit.
Hey, I don't mind fucking attacking somebody else.
Yeah, hey, bro. I mean, just inform me is all I'm asking. Like, please educate me. If I'm uneducated, please educate me. I do not mind.
Yeah.
I don't. We just take another 4 hours and do it all over
girl
again.
said we're ill-informed.
By the way,
like
she's
that.
just
We're
like
malnourished. No, you don't have to defend her. I'm just
It's all right.
joking. I'm just
We
giving her a hard
love her,
time,
dude.
bro.
We love her.
She obviously she enjoys that she enjoys that you enjoy doing this, or else she would have been like, "You gotta stop doing that because these
I
dudes
love
are
this
fucking
shit.
dumb dumbs."
No, and
You know
she's
what I mean?
like, yeah, she loves.
Trust me. Like I'm not saying anything bad about your girl. I'm not saying anything bad.
I just
It's
don't want
just-
you to think that she's like shit talk because she.
No,
obviously
I don't
all
think
love.
that. And if she did, I don't give a fuck. 'Cause
She's
we're gonna keep
shit-talking.
doing this. We're gonna keep doing this. I don't give a fuck.
Oh
Yeah.
man. All right, y'all boys ready? Sign offs.
Thank you so much for listening to another episode of The Usual Tuesday. D, I'm excited to see what you come with next week. It better
Fuck,
be
I have
fucking
no idea.
something. It better be something hot. Because it's been like 3 weeks of hot.
It's been spicy.
Yeah, you gotta come, Are we gonna talk about Bud Light and the transgenders? Are we gonna get canceled? No, but thank you guys for listening to another episode of The Usual Tuesday. Again, my name is Save. I appreciate everybody coming out. Korpsx's community, Zero's community, thank you guys so much. My community, I appreciate you guys. I'm out of here. As always, you guys stay healthy, stay happy. I love you guys. Keep smiling, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
That was a good outro. Hell yeah.
I love it.
My outro's always the same, baby. Have you not? Come
Well, let me
on,
go.
repetition is the power of learning.
Big Corpse, all of that. Y'all know the deal. Usual Tuesday show, podcast, fucking conversations from the degenerates. Yeah, hope you guys have a good one. Damo, I am excited to see what you got for next week, my
I'm stressed
boy.
out, bro.
I like it. Shout out, Lady Damien too. You know what I mean? Love it. Everybody who tunes in, thank you. Jordan tuning in, thank you. Sly, all y'all. I'm high as fuck. We're gonna sign out.
All right, be safe, everybody. Yeah, thank you everybody for coming. Everybody's community, it's been amazing. 0%, wherever you know. My community, that everybody's links in the description below, so go check them out. Go show them love.
Oh, we gotta go check out the thumbnail too. Ooh, we probably
and-
looking sexy as hell.
Bro, I actually want look at the thumbnail. I want like live reaction before we leave. Just
Where's it at? How do I look at the thumbnail?
Just go to my channel. It's can I send the hold on.
YouTube, eh?
You guys have Discord open or what?
Ah, damn, we looking cute, dog.
Hold on,
Nice. I threw it together real
Is it
quick.
in the Discord?
I'm gonna
Is it in the
adjust it.
Discord?
We'll see.
No, it just says teachers, and then it shows the 3 pictures of us. Damn, Punching baby, y'all looking kind of cute, dog.
Thank you.
I fuck with it.
Love y'all, man.
All right, boys, I'm out of here. I gotta wake up early as fuck.
Oh, I know. I'm
I
sorry.
know I
bro.
got 5 a.m., bro.
You guys are
but-
good. Yeah, I'm up at 5 too, bro.
All
It's
right,
all
boys.
gravy. All right, boys. Have a good night. Great
Love y'all,
stream
man.
tonight.
Be
Love
safe,
you guys.
Be safe.
You guys have a good night. Peace.